Good evening, everybody. It's hot. It's very hot again. It reminds me of playoffs past. We are here for the FM playoffs. We've been through the path. We're now here with the 8 qualifiers and the 4 invitees. And I am joined by some wonderful guests who are just here with me. I'm Jebba Roo, by the way, so I am replacing Tony tonight. Completely forgot. Definitely prepared for this, aren't I, guys? Right, anyway, with me tonight, to my left/right, is second yellow card. He's on some side, I don't know, he's there. There you go. No, he's there. He's there. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Nailed it. How we doing, Matt?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm warm and obviously really well prepared for this today.
Baking.
Yeah, exactly. It's very warm. Obviously, it's not 40 degrees after the playoffs, but we're not far off. And below him is Mr. EFB himself, Stick Piano. How are we?
I'm doing great.
Lovely. And is it just as warm over there, or have you got an advantage over us all? Oh, you've got air conditioning, haven't you, built into everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 90 degrees outside Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is Celsius, but I have an air conditioner in my room, so we're good.
Rubbing it in.
Unbelievable. And below me, he's back again. One of the owners, the new owners. Here he is. Mashallah. Ali, how are we doing?
Mashallah. That was a wonderful intro, yeah. It's a good job I'm the owner, one of the owners, because I feel like I would have been kicked out by now if I wasn't. But here we are. They can't get rid of me. I'm excited. I'm so excited for this first run. Like, my legs shaking. I'm giddy as hell. I can't wait to get into it.
Yep, and it's obviously we've gone through the paths to the playoffs, and we're into a new format now. So I'll quickly go through that. There was 2 qualifiers, top 4 out of each 8 qualified for the finals. There were 4 invitees, and then we go into the playoffs, which is 2 groups of 6. The top 3 qualify. The winners get a knockout bye to the semi-finals. The other 4 players play out quarterfinals, and it's the grand final, all single-legged. It's an interesting format. It's worked out quite well. But today, I think because of last time and the way we changed things up with the way we did the draft pool, we've done it again. So the rules and stipulations for this evening are it's a £400 million budget. I'm sure that's right. Definitely not double check that. 20 picks in totals. There's 2 different pools of players. There's no limit on picks per country. There's 5 picks from each pool. It's a snake draft. And the two pools are... First pool is Italy, Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, and Romania. And the second pool is Spain, England, Portugal, Scotland, and Turkey. How it will work is the first pool will be picks 1 to 5 and 11 to 15. And 6 to 10 and 16 to 20 will be the second pool. So that's how that one's going to work. What's your thoughts on this pool? Stick. We'll start from the bottom.
I mean, the stipulation, I think, is more important than the pool. Like, there's a lot of well-known players that everyone's going to be familiar with, especially since you've got Italy, England, Germany, Spain, like, smacked in there. But deciding where you want to spend your money, what pool of players or group of players that you think need, like, the big splash of money, that's the real question, I think, with this kind of pool. And it'll be interesting to see who's figured that out and who hasn't.
And, Ali, is this the plan going forward for all FM playoffs? These crazy-ish drafts?
I wasn't sure before, but then I saw everybody in the participants chatter in our Discord, which you should join, by the way, just going, what the hell even is this? And I was like, oh, this is chaotic. I quite enjoy all of these people having a mini breakdown over this. So potentially, yeah, up until they get to a point where they're familiar with it, and then obviously we'll reassess. But I think it adds an interesting new layer to things. It's something that isn't really done anywhere else. So I think it gives a really fun, different experience. Maybe levels the playing field with those people coming in with the later picks, being able to have a first pick of a different pool.
Yeah, definitely. And you've got Ciro Immobile, Kimmich, Goretzka, you could say. But Matt, why is the first pick going to be Virgil van Dijk? Because it's Limo's pick.
Because it always is. It just always is. If he's available, you get him. Like, yeah. I'd probably do the same thing in that scenario. You need that quality. It's not even just that he's good for defensive thing. He is just so good in every aspect of the game. And okay, the price is fairly high, but I still think it's worth it, honestly. You can make up for that elsewhere in the squad. If you've got him, you've got a chance.
Lovely stuff. Hey, there you go. There's the first one of the night. Anyway, we are talking about the players. I guess we better do some player intros. It might be a nicotine break for two of my panelists below me, but they can go with that as we do the player intros. No gimmicks or funny accents this time because that gets me in trouble, apparently. All right, let's go. M. Breezy. Holly Plays. Limo. Steve Hood. FM Girl. Boo. Tim Lewis. Murph FM. Stinger. Mozza. JD FM. Fox in the Box. McKinns. And there we are. That was the players we had. The amount of breathing that was going on during that was very scary. I don't know what was going on in the background.
Are we supposed to hold our breath?
Yeah. I think that might have been what it was anyway. But anyway, let's start off with our players. Holly Plays. I'm going to throw to you, Ali, on this one. So Showdown Queen obviously won the Showdown, finalist last time out. Draft position 12, so final thing. She's an invitee, first appearance here. FM ranking of 11. Talk me through her. Holly, Ali, please.
I'll leave out the biases from the post stealing for the intro. We might bring it down up later down the line, but I'm really excited. Obviously, we've seen Holly appear a couple of times now in the draft scene with just the Showdown. This is the first opportunity we're getting to see what Holly is capable of doing on other stages against other people. Lots of different tactics, lots of different things thrown her way. So I'm really excited to see what she pulls out of the bag. And we've seen she can pull it out of the bag with her obviously winning her debut Showdown. So yeah, I mean, I'm mega excited to see what Holly's going to do today.
Fantastic. And then on to some of the I don't know if you faced in the Super League, Matt, but Steve Hood, obviously he's got his rebuild reputation. He's won the playoffs before. He's got 50%, over 50% all-time record, which is quite rare, and he's FM ranking number 14. Tell us about Hood.
I mean, I think that with comparing even Hood to Holly, his FM ranking is not much lower. He's won the playoffs before, so he knows he already has experience of winning this competition. His record is excellent, and that all-time win percentage is pretty damn high. Anything above 50% really is good because it means you're winning more often than you're not, and that's all you can really hope for at this point. And like you say, with that history of doing all the rebuilds, he even if his squad isn't exactly what he wants, he's probably going to be able to form it into something that could perform extremely well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think he showed in the qualifying he was just steady, and I think that was quite important there. Speaking of qualifying, boo, it's FM Girl. Obviously, you know why we're booing her. It's the Yorkshire Puddings disrespect that's out there. If you don't know, go find out. I'm not going to tell you. I'd just get really upset about it. She finished fourth in week 2. She's got an all-time record of 43%. She's FM rankings number 28. She famously took part in the last playoffs, and Stick was her assistant, and she ignored all of Stick's advice. So, Stick Piano, let's come to you for this one.
She just ignored my advice in the draft, and the tactic did really well. She made semifinals in that draft with the tactic, and something very similar in store for this week. And I think underperformed a little bit in the qualifiers, like was higher in the qualifying group for most of the run and finishing fourth, just squeaking in. But the tactic is good, and she's on her own draft prep this time, but she's already shown that she can do that. So I think that FM Girl will be thereabouts. Like, she got FM'd the last time out by Mozza in that semifinal, so having that time coming back with the experience of already being in the knockouts, like, I expect FM Girl to do well.
Awesome. Next up, fellow Welsh person, respects Yorkshire Puddings though. You know, he's fourth in week 1. He was a last-minute qualifier, very last-minute qualifier. 38% all-time win rate. He won the Summer Cup recently as well, and also worryingly, he took up drinking during the path to the playoffs. Hopefully, that's not going to be a continuation. But Ali, tell us what you know about Tim.
Tim is a little bit worried. Well, I had a couple of conversations with him, and his issue is there is no Olivier Giroud in this pool. As we know, Olivier Giroud is the best anchorman, according to Tim. That's where he slotted him in that Summer Cups win and in the playoffs qualifiers. So he's not too sure about where he's going to go down. He says he will have to find himself, and I quote, a suitable, big, chunky lad. Whether he'll get that big chunky lad, I'm not too sure. But I mean, he's got experience winning things, winning the Summer Cup, obviously being the one. So I mean, it could work out for Tim. It just depends on how he drafts tonight and which chunky lad he brings.
Fantastic. Next up, a replacement. So Dupe was unable to make it, so we have Stinger back in. He was the best worst runner-up. The best runner-up. Let's go for this. He was there anyway. Denmark 92. That's basically what he's phrased this as. This is his last-minute entry into the tournament. So he finished 6th in week 1. He's been to the finals twice, never won. FM ranking number 44. Stinger, Matt, you played with him a few times in showdowns?
I have, yeah. I mean, he, obviously, great guy, great player. And if he is going to be like Denmark 92, then, well, we all know what happened there. So maybe that's a good omen for him in this particular case. I mean, I know for a fact that despite the fact that he's been thrown into this, he's still got plans coming out of his ears from what he's told me, which he sounds more prepared than I would be if I knew about the whole competition from the beginning. So I wouldn't look past him, even though he's been thrown straight into this. If anything, that might give him an advantage. Like, not got in his own head, ready to go for it. Awesome.
And then next up, we have Murph, who finished 2nd in his group. He's obviously draft chats on YouTube. Do check that out. He had a pretty storming start to it, but kind of dropped off quite a bit in his last game. 39% all-time win rate. Also ranked number 39. Stick, tell us about Murph.
I talked to Murph a little bit before the draft, and he's excited about this tournament. I think that he wants to play against Hood again, like the two of them do that network save together. He's really excited to have a chance to battle Hood in PvP, and he's told me he has a couple new things to try out since the qualifying that he's already sort of worked on and worked out, and that we may see some extra strikers in Murph's tactic occasionally. It's not the main tactic, but he's going to bring a lot to the table, I think, this week, and looking to do something a little bit different, maybe to prevent that fade that happened in the qualifying group from happening here today or Sunday.
Thank you very much. And next up, perpetual finalist. Thanks, Andrew, for trying to get me to say that. Mr. Mozza. Last 2 finals, he's been into the playoffs. He's still not won the big one. FM ranking number 49. Ali, talk about your fellow co-owner.
Oh, this is the partner. I know exactly who he wants. He sent me a relatively big spreadsheet about what he's going after and what he wants. And I think if you can't pronounce Perpetual, just call him the Exterminator, because his plan is to kill the rats. And by rats, we mean the 3 striker rats, as I think Viking Down coined on Twitter after his path to the playoff group. We've seen a lot of these 3 striker systems come into place, and Mozza believes to have found the answer to, I'd say, about 70% of FM drafters' prayers. Only time will tell. I'll be able to get more information on how well I think he's going to do post-draft, because I know exactly what he's going for. I just hope he doesn't do too well, because I do like being the only owner who's won the competition.
Nice. Very nice. Next up, JDFM. He said the last time he's been confused by 2 pools at once is the last time he was in Kavos at a water park. That's basically what he said today. He does say Super League champ on here. I think we're holding on to this one. Anyway, qualified 2nd in week 2. He lost his last 2 games, but he'd already qualified by then. FM ranking number 50. Matt, talk to us about JD.
I think maybe the fact that he, was 2nd in the qualifying might be a bit of a misnomer in the fact that, like you say, he won his first 3 games in the group. So maybe by that point, the pressure was off and he could have gone on and won even more at that point. So it's hard to say. What I do know, though, is that he said most of his prep was spending a week in Spain drinking sangria. So I don't know how important that's going to be to his prep today. I guess, if nothing else, he'll lose with a really nice tan.
And next up, he's made a return to a couple of drafts recently. It's Fox in the Box. He's obviously our invitee here. took part in Road to Legends on the 4th of August. Unfortunately, we ain't got the details of that, but I don't think it went too well for him. FM ranking number 55. Fox in the box making the return. Tell us about it, Stick.
I mean, I think he's got a lot to prove. He was in FM Top Manager as well, and neither of those tournaments went well for Foxy. So hopefully he's learned from those experiences. PvP is a good place where finding out what isn't working is actually a really good thing. And so he's had the opportunity to do that in a couple competitions here before the playoffs. Has he done that, though? We'll find out.
And somebody who has done really well, Breezy. Draft position number 3 of his own choosing. He won the first week. He was only defeated in 1 game. Scored an astounding amount of goals with his 3 striker formation. Definitely not involving rats. A 71% all-time win rate. FM ranking number 7 as well. Ali, you've spoke to Breezy a little bit?
Yeah, he is planning on going much the same as he did in the qualifiers. Why fix something that's not broken is essentially the plan. He's confident he'll be able to snap somebody big, tall, and quick up top. I think Lukaku probably being that that sort of figure for him, and he's third pick, so he'll be able to get a lot of the plays that he's looking for. I know he's really keen to play Foxy as well, and obviously we've seen him do really well. Obviously he topped the path to the playoffs. He's reached a final before. I don't know him in that final, but I think they were quite good looking. So yeah, I'm feeling like it'll be a good competition for Brazy if he can keep it up. Interesting to see. Moz has got the Rat Killer. How's that going to do when it comes against a tactic that was full of rats? So who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
Nice. Next up, it's not Ron Jeremy, it's McKinns. Andrew put these stats together. He's never lost to you, Matt. Draft position number 2. He's an invitee. He's got the lowest ranking of everyone else at 64. He's obviously won the showdown before. He's also been a finalist in the playoffs. Talk to us about McKinns. He's never lost to you before, though.
Yeah, he continues to mug me off even though I'm not competing against him. It's incredible. He's very good, isn't he? I've got his entire draft strategy, and he has done the work. He has got prep. He's got preferred picks for basically every round. It's all sorted. I think he'll be not only that, he's even got like other people's preferred picks that he thinks they're going to pick. So I suspect I think he'll come out strong, and hopefully he will, because it made me look slightly better because I lost to him.
And then finally, the King of the Scouse House. I think he was about 10 cans deep by the end of the last pass of the playoffs. He might be 10 cans deep now, judging by the pictures he sent us as well. Won the playoffs twice before. We all wrote him off, to be fair. I think the entire panel wrote him off his drafting strategy, but he proved everyone wrong in pass of the playoffs. FM ranking number 10. Limo, Stick. He's got that first pick.
Yeah, I think Limo's going to do well again. Limo is one of those people that the draft to Limo, I just don't think matters. He knows his tactic inside and out. He can mold that 4-4-2 into whatever he wants given any situation, and it baffles me. I don't think it's a very good tactic. I wouldn't play it, but Limo at his hands has been incredible in a lot of competitions for a long time. The players don't seem to matter. He's just going to put them out there in a 4-4-2, sometimes 4-2-4, and he knows exactly what change to make in every situation, and it baffles me.
Awesome. Now I'm going to very quickly, I'm going to go to what I call the hellscape, just to check on how all the competitors are doing at once. So we've got a few people starting up the draft, still waiting for a few people to go live as well. So while we wait for others to come live, we will go to your ones to watch. I will make sure I've got the right window open first on that one. There we are, lovely. I'm going to start with you, Ali. Romelu Lukaku from Pool 1, Demiral from Pool 2, and Leroy Sané is your overall one to rule them all. Talk us through them.
I mean, I feel like Big Rom and Big Leroy don't need a lot of explaining. You know, Lukaku, we've seen him in the qualifiers. He was an absolute beast. He's big, he's physical, and he's quick. And his finishing, speaks for itself. I think, with the current sort of meta tall strikers are still remarkably good. So I feel like if we don't see him gone by third pick, then I'm going to be quite surprised. Sane, another one for someone who's on the wing. He's quite a physical guy. And I like the fact that he's sort of left-footed and prefers the left side. I'm a big fan of wingers on attack in this FM. So I think if somebody's able to take him and use him in the right way, I think we could see him be racking up those assists, maybe a couple of goals with his height as well. If he's being marked by maybe a fullback when the ball comes in from the other side, there's a good chance he's going to win that header. And Damiral, I mean, for his stats, he is amazing. He's really good in the air. His tackling is really good. Positioning is great. He maybe lacks a little bit when it comes to aggression, but when you have a pool with a budget at that price of 23 million, and you want to abuse those set pieces, there is nobody better in terms of ability and price for me in this pool.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And then on to yours, Matt. Sorry, my fingers slip in here. And there we are. Dear me. Right. So you got Demabe in the first pool, Mason Mount in the second, and the one to rule them all is Virgil van Dijk. Talk us through them.
Yeah, I mean, Virgil van Dijk doesn't really need any introduction. He's an absolute... He's like sort of the meta monster when it comes to any form of FM draft competition. He is just the guy you want. Even with a budget this small, he is still ridiculously powerful in any team. Now, whether you'd be able to get him and Mason Mount in the same team with that kind of budget is a different question. But Mount, the reason I like him is because he is quite expensive, but he's so versatile. You can play him across the entire of the front three, not as a striker, obviously, but I mean, you probably could. I wouldn't, but you could. Even slightly deeper. And one of the things I love when I'm doing drafts is versatility in players, and he is just a bit of everything. But to me, Demirbay is just he's one of those players that I always overlook when I'm doing drafts, and I always end up with him anyway, and he's always fantastic because he's tall. His set piece delivery is fantastic. If anything, you almost want him on the end of his own corners, and that's sort of a bit of a conundrum for you, but he's fantastic. He's usually relatively reasonably priced. Now, £18.5 million, he again is versatile, can do just about anything, and yeah, I love him.
Awesome. And finally, Stick. Onto yours. Memphis Depay, Kieran Tierney, Romelu Lukaku. Rule them all. Oh, we have lost.
Especially with Haaland not in this draft pool, Lukaku, I think, is just far and away the best striker. I expect him to go in the first 3 picks, maybe 4 at the latest. So I don't think there's a lot more that can be said about Lukaku. But Depay, I think, is someone who goes under a lot of radars. Like, he's around that same price as like Mason Mount, but can play on the wing, can play behind the striker, can play as a striker. I've used him as a CM attack before too. Like, Depay can just do a lot of things. He's very versatile. The price is not bank breaking and is a strong finisher. And I just really like Kieran Tierney. I love that he can play on the left in a back 3. I love that he can play wing back. I love that he can play DM. Like, I'll use Tierney anywhere too. The versatility for Kieran Tierney in that kind of position is just really hard to match. I like him a lot. Awesome.
Right, onto your bargain picks. We're going to go through these quite quickly. So 5-word answers. Moz has not sent me the updated graphics, so Andy Carroll is not that expensive. Take 35 million off and add another 250 grand. Andy Carroll, Van der Beek, and Deaconu. 5 words. Stick. Let's go first.
All attributes 13.
Lovely. Matt, Van der Beek.
Johnny is good at football.
Oh, that's a good one. And you can try 5 words, but I know it's going to be really impossible to do. Ali, go for it. Andy, our Lord and Saviour Carroll.
Andy fucking Carroll. That's it.
Wow. Apologise to our younger viewers. Right, anyway. Broad FC. What a collection of players we have here. One I'm very, very angry about. Harry Kane from Ali, Neuer from Matt, and Andy Robertson from Stick. Stick, I'm starting with you. Why?
He gets way too far forward. He never tracks back enough on defense for me, and because of that, he's a card magnet. He gets so far up the pitch, he's constantly pulling players back on the wing, either for a red card or for just stacking up those yellows. He's just really hard to use effectively at FM because of how exposed he can get when he gets all the way to the byline constantly.
And Manuel Neuer, Matt?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say he's an outright fraud himself. It's just that he's so expensive for a goalkeeper when you can get so much better value with even people like De Gea, who seems to perform outrageously in the match engine. So Neuer's maybe not a fraud. He's like an accessory to fraud at best.
And Harry Kane, I think everyone knows that he just doesn't seem to work, but why? Ali,
that's what I do. I just say the obvious and then try to take credit. He's for a guy who's 90 million at striker. He just doesn't score a lot, does he? Like, it's simply that. It's just too much money in any pool. In an unlimited pool, it's too much money.
Fantastic. And I think that kind of sums up where we are with the frauds. We will go back and look at the hellscape, as I said again, and we have everybody shortlisting, and JD's having a drink. So there you go. If there's enough to say there, I don't know if he's still in Spain. Anyway, let's go straight over to Limo's stream, and we'll sit and watch with the draft there. We will. So we're just really waiting on that first pick now. I mean, as he works his way through.
That he really loves the pool of players in Italy and Germany and wouldn't be surprised to see him spend a large chunk of his budget here in these first 5 picks, where a lot of other drafters are going to transition to some of those bargains or mid-level picks. I expect Limo, and there he is. He's just spaffed 55 million on Nicolo Barella to start the draft. So that's the name that he gave me. I didn't want to say it before he drafted him, but nice. There it is.
So where's McKinn's going to go? Is McKinn's going to go Van Dijk, or is this going to be one of those weird ones where Van Dijk goes second round? I think you had one of them recently, Matt.
Yeah, I don't think he's going for Van Dijk because he predicted that Limo would not go for who he's about to pick, I suspect, which makes me think that he is going to pick the player that I think he's going to pick. I don't know if I can say it in case anyone hears, but he wants a big, meaty man.
Oh, okay.
But has
he wants Lukaku, right?
He does be wanting Lukaku, yeah.
Yeah.
He knew that Limo wasn't going to take him, and he's right. Yep. He's done the prep. This man knows.
That was the pick.
Now, is he going to pivot and take?
That was the pick that Ambrisi wanted.
And there you go. There's Breezy's reaction immediately. He's gutted.
If I was third, I never would have counted on Lukaku being there.
Yeah. He knew it.
Wow.
He's going to need a big meaty man. According to what he told me, the size and the speed are key components to his plan and his sort of mission for tonight's draft and Sunday's game. So he's going to be on the fly. I'd be very surprised if he hadn't had anybody sort of backed up. I guess we'll see, judging by who he picks here. But realistically, he's going to go for somebody similar. I just don't know who in this pool is going to be better fitting in that bill. And I think it's funny because he had primary pick on where he'd be drafting from.
He's gone for Belotti. So now we're over to Foxy.
Wow.
Ooh.
Foxy wanted Lukaku pre-draft as well. So, but he also asked me if I thought there was any chance VVD would still be their fourth. So I think that Van Dijk might be the pick here with Lukaku off the board.
Has to be, surely, if he's still there.
Yep, there we are. He's
hovering over.
There. Yeah.
Yep.
Not anymore.
There we are. Over to JD. Also, I warn your eyes because JD has the worst skin known to man. Or the Llama has said in the chat that he has changed it. Particularly when he gets the England picks, you just end up with a really white. There you go. You can't see anything on it. Yeah.
I just got sunburnt from that.
I mean, Frankie de Jong, I think Barcelona are ringing him now. Just please take him off us in any shape or form, please. We've got all these players sat here and we can't use them. Somebody please take him. I mean, all politics aside.
Also, I mean, thank you very much for the raid as well, there, Tom FM. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
I feel like Belotti over players like DCL and Immobile is a little bit loose.
It's not cheap, is he? 27 million was that? That's a lot. Isn't DCL the same kind of price?
I think
like 30 plus, not too far off. I think it's a panic pick.
Yeah, I'll get the guys to double check. I'm pretty sure he had Immobile last draft. Might not have been. No, he didn't. He had Vlahovic, who was being called a fraud, obviously. So, Moza up next. Ali, you know the inside scoop. I got shown the inside scoop yesterday, actually. He has a very detailed plan for this.
Yeah, it's almost like you do all this prep and you still don't win anything. Like, what a waste of time. That was my first thought. Obviously, I didn't tell him that, but... there is that. And he's gone for Mancini. I didn't think he'd be going for Mancini first. I thought he'd got a couple of... He'd got he'd got a midfielder that he was very much like, I need him. But we didn't think that maybe people would be going for him. So maybe that's that approach, but we'll see if it pays off late down the line, I guess.
I think others were in for him. I know that Stinger was pretty interested in Mancini. He was one of the few players that he named personally to me that he was after quite early in the draft. So he's going to be a little bit annoyed about that, I suspect.
I find that a little bit weird too. There's so many defenders in that 20 million price range that are not that different from the Mancinis and the Demirals.
Yeah, Murph's just gone for Locatelli, which will anger our good friend United City because he was one of the fraud picks of his. He's pretty much a walking yellow card. Stinger, is Stinger going to spend some money this draft? I mean, he's usually the under 20 million. There we go. There's a boo from Kevin in the chat. But yeah, do we think
Stinger's going to go for a big centre back?
He's gone for Federico Di Marco.
Oh.
So is that that's an attacking fullback? Yeah, I was going to say he's a fullback. Yeah. On to Tim. Tim's not going to pick Mario Fellaini. Tim usually has his pick ready on screen because he already knows he's picked Mario Fellaini.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
Yeah, bringing the draft into disrepute.
To be fair, he said to me, "I'm not sure who my big meaty anchorman's going to be. That's probably going to be Marouane Fellaini."
You can just take Wout Weghorst, right?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
But Fellaini actually plays there.
That's quite expensive though.
Wout Weghorst doesn't go CDM.
I was going to say 17 million for Marouane Fellaini. I didn't realise it was only 33. Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, my favourite Welsh person here is now Alice, and she eats Yorkshire puddings with chocolate sauce. So that's
I can disconnect you right now, Ali, if you're not careful.
I am Big Boss. No.
It looks like Alice is trying to win your favour stick because she's going for Memphis. Yep, Memphis Depay has gone for Alice. Now moving on to Hood on the other platform.
He's having the stretch.
Yep. He's getting ready, limbering himself up. So we've got the double pick for Holly to come up. The way the double pick works out, the double pick comes on Limo's pick, doesn't it, each time, if I work it out right? Or is it Snake as well? I'm trying to work out in my head now and it hurts.
You'll get the double pick.
Yeah. So Hood's gone for Immobile, which I'm surprised he's gone that late. And then we're on to Holly.
Hood told me that he was looking for Scamazza.
He can still get Scamazza later, though.
Yeah, I would have. I mean, again, big meaty men. He's what, 6'5"?
I'm wondering if we'll see a Lorenzo Luca pop up. That's the one I'm waiting to just absolutely clown on someone for picking.
Yeah.
Who gets Weghorst? That's the question.
Yeah, big Weggy. Out of interest, do you think any Romanian players will go, or any Romanian players of note? Stick, I'm looking at you. You probably have.
Yeah, one of my bargain picks is like a DM, like box-to-box midfielder type, Ronaldo Diacono, and he's for $500,000. Like, he's great. Like, he could definitely come in for someone who's suspended. He's got 13s and 14s up and down the attribute card, so he's very useful. So I think that someone should draft players like that. There are Romanian players that fit that kind of bill in the budget area, so I think we could.
Especially if someone's just blown too much money up front and they need those bargain picks on the back end of the draft. It's those kind of picks that, particularly in a draft pool still quite large, considering it's like a small amount of countries, but it's still a large amount of players within those nations. So it's going to be hard to funnel through to find those kind of guys. But if you can funnel someone out like that, it could make a huge difference in just allowing you to spend money elsewhere.
Looks like Holly's first pick was Boateng, wasn't it? Was it Jerome
Boateng? It was. Yeah. I don't really know what the plan is there.
I've not seen him go. Yeah, I've not seen him go much in drafts recently.
I've not seen him go in drafts at all. Never mind as somebody's first pick.
Yeah.
So either Holly's a genius or Holly's not sure.
She's currently searching for Lorenzo Luca, but she's going to go for Riegel. She's gone Julian Riegel, who I saw play live last Friday at Benfica. So,
how did he do?
I don't know. I wasn't that drunk.
No. You sure he's not
He
playing?
was all right. They won 4-0, so he didn't have to do much. He came off the bench, I do remember now. Right, on to Hood. Bastoni being looked at there. So Weagle and... Was that... So it was Jerome Boateng, was that correct? I'm not... Yes.
Yep,
I'm not
Jerome
imagining that.
Boateng. She was looking at Jerome Boateng for a solid 5 minutes, and I was like, please don't.
He does have pretty eyes, to be fair.
Yeah, big
Like-
Jerome does.
Oh, yeah, look at him.
He does have pretty eyes, but questionable morals. He is one of those people on the horrible moral journey list. If Tony was
the
here,
bad boys do.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God.
Can't have everything. Can't have
Pretty
everything,
eyes,
mate.
questionable morals.
Yeah, and Bastoni's gone for Hood, and we move on to Alice. Alice is looking at Weggy now. She's building
That's where
from
you
the
want to
front.
go.
Yeah.
How much of an input have you had, Stick? Have you been helping Alice behind the scenes for this one, or have you left it to it?
I've left it to her mostly. I think that, but she has short lists from drafts past, and a lot of these main countries are on those short lists anyway. But like the tactic that she's playing, a target man knocking balls down for the shadow striker and for the other forward, which would be Depay in this instance, is pretty useful. So I wouldn't be surprised for see her take Weghorst, and I think Weghorst is a pretty good pick.
He's such a threat from set pieces. He's just
Yeah.
incredible. Not just like because I think it's because he's a striker that he's so tall, and he's so tall that he just has this attacking instinct as well from set pieces. He seems to score more than centre backs of equal physical presence.
He also has really good anticipation. So even though he's not super fast, he actually scores more than you would think on like those little through balls that come from the top of the box.
Because he's already started the
he's-
run.
Yeah.
She's taking the time about it as well.
Yeah, and she's down to like the last 15 seconds here, so...
And Weghorst is not on screen anymore, although maybe he's
No.
on the find player tab.
She's baiting us in.
She's running out of time.
Alice
What's the
is
Kai
far too
Havertz?
early to be missing a pick.
Yeah, Kai
About to get
Havertz.
auto pick.
And
Alice knows her clock. She doesn't. She'll get it in.
round to Tim Lewis. I don't know who he's going to pick. Anyone got any guesses? Anybody out there? No.
Well, all I knew was he needs a chunky man.
Yeah,
And
there
I
we
think
go.
he's got him in Fellaini.
Yeah, Serbi has just gone for Tim Lewis. I do like the way Tim picks because he's just telling you, I'm not looking around for anything. I know what I'm getting. You're gonna wait a couple of seconds for me, and then we click that button. It's done. Zaniolo, he's gone in a lot of drafts, and he's about to go for Stinger. Zaniolo has had a lot of success from that wing, from that attacking midfielder position as well. I've noticed recently. Good pick, Stick.
I have never gotten Zaniolo to work. On paper, Zaniolo for the price is like obviously insane. There's no reason why he shouldn't get drafted in every draft, but for whatever reason, I'd have never gotten Zaniolo to perform. So I wouldn't draft him, but it's a very good pick on paper.
Yeah, I think is it Muzzer who has a custom emote just for Zaniolo because he's had that much success with him, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
No, custom goal celebration actually.
I remember that from last season. It was something, wasn't it?
This was something Stick brought up earlier today. Stick. Coop
Yeah,
miners.
this is a pick that might have gone in the first round for Murph. He thought about taking Coop Miners right off the start, just as someone up and down the spine of the team, a great passer, good teamwork, like just can add a lot to the team. Whether like he takes him here, I think there are enough people that are similar at 23 million, but he likes something about him a lot.
The good thing about that price range is there is a lot of mobility because you can get so many different players in there, and you're likely to get the picks you want. Just provided someone else isn't doing the exact same tactical style as you, you're probably going to get who you want in there. So I imagine that's why he's not gone as soon as he has.
Fantastic.
I feel like he could have waited on him even longer.
Yeah, I'll probably.
Like
Yeah.
you don't see Coop Miners drafted all that often, and his skill set's not rare. So like I feel like that's not a great pick personally.
Yeah, I don't know whether to be incredibly worried for Mazza because he's debating between Federico Chiesa and Timo Werner, and they don't really play in the same position, really. So he's picked Werner, which, again, for his key player, wasn't Timo Werner. It was somebody who would be playing in the central midfield role. So I think he's playing a bit of a risky game, considering this man was going to be a key component in his tactic, which I
He is
rate.
quick.
He's so fast.
He's so fast. He
That's
will
what I
get.
love.
He will get you chances, even if he doesn't take them all the time.
No.
He'll get chances just by being there because he'll constantly make those runs.
See,
He will
that's-
miss a lot though.
Show me it.
Unironically, Daniel James is a really, really good pick in a lot of these because he'll run that quick. He'll get 20 opportunities to cross it in. And because he's really bad at crossing, maybe 2 or 3 of them will be successfully hit into the right region, but it still works because of how frequently he gets there.
You only need it to work once. Well, maybe twice.
So Karsdorp has gone for JD. Just going to give a little refresh on Foxy. He's a little bit behind on mine. Karsdorp's gone for JD.
I like Karsdorp.
Yeah, he's a good attacking right back. I think you notice that fullbacks go a lot quicker recently.
It's because there's so few that really just work well in the match engine. And
Yeah.
it's called Rick.
Yeah, true.
Well,
There's not
like
many of them
last
either.
year, tackling.
Nah.
Last year, tackling was super important to defending the wings. This year, it's just pace. Like if you have a fullback that can get in front of a winger, they will turn the ball out instead of crossing it. Like they don't actually have to tackle them.
No,
So
it's
that
great.
pace on the outside is huge.
So Skamaka's just gone. I think he would have been another option for Breezy, but Breezy's just gone for Lorenzo Luca.
Terrible.
Is he too young?
Lorenzo, he fits into that category where they're good, just not at the beginning of the game. And we see this happen at least once a draft. These players who, become something that's quite decent, but you have to wait 3 seasons for it. And I feel like people get lost in that sort of that sort of point of the game, maybe because they're in that point of the game and they've seen him perform and have a good output there, that they think, well, I'm going to pick him in a draft. Whereas Luca, ability-wise, attribute-wise, for Henry and Andrew, who were shouting at me in chat, isn't particularly great when it comes to 2020 July 2021 when the game starts. So I don't think that's a particularly good move, so especially so soon into the draft. I think that's a mistake.
Antonio
He's not
Rudiger.
bad though.
Rudiger's just gone for McKinn's.
Yeah. He is basically drafting to his strategy perfectly at the moment. He had Lukaku first pick for him because he knew that they wouldn't go first. His next one is just big centre back. And, well, Rudiger is exactly that. So he has executed his strategy perfectly so far. Let's see what he's got up next. Is it Big Strike? No. It's got a name. We'll find out.
Galders. Yeah, I was going to say, Galder, as part of our stats team, has a couple of indexes. One of them is a Vinnie Jones index. Antonio Rudiger appears on that quite high up because he is quite an aggressive boy. So we'll see if that pays off on yellow cards, etc. Limo's picked up Insigne, and he's got his second pick, and he's going for Luis Felipe. So he's going for centre back and forward there.
It's just very Limo, isn't it? I don't know what it is. It's just Limo. So yeah,
Is he going to play 4-4-2? I don't know.
I think McKinn's is probably the best squad builder in this draft. Like I've watched him draft so many times, either in like private drafts or competitions. His draft is always fantastic. It's just the tactics for McKinn's that he has to get right. But I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the night we think McKinn's has the best squad.
He seems to be moving towards his next pick on the list, and it's still there. So he is potentially going to go 3 for 3 if he takes the choice to pick Carrasco, which he has. So there you go, 3 for 3 for McKinn so far.
Wow.
His other choice was actually Zaniolo, interestingly.
Nice.
I love Carrasco.
It's it's Breezy a bit in the mud here because he's got Lorenzo Luca as his big striker, not Lukaku or Skamaka.
He's panicking, lads. He's
Belotta.
panicking. Well, yeah,
I will
Belotti
say
just
too,
isn't.
Ala was like, I think it's too soon on someone like Luca, but you can't really evaluate a draft like this the same as a regular draft because you do sort of have to save money for that 6 and 7 and 8 rounds where you switch pools and have all these new high value players entering the pool. So it's not, you have to kind of consider this is the equivalent of taking Luca in like the 7th round.
I mean, I agree with you when it comes to picks 4 or 5, not pick 2. He's gone for Donnarumma, who can perform, but we've seen him not perform as well.
Very expensive too.
Very expensive. 3rd round for a goalkeeper. It's like, I saw the little head and hands pull of the beard. I don't know I saw a lot of confidence in Breezy's answers to my questions, and I'm not too sure it's fully relaying here. Maybe the pick 6 was a chance to sort of refresh and recompose, but we'll see.
So just doing a quick
The
refresh. there.
Donnarumma is the cheapest of the super goalies, though. So, like, I do kind of rate that pick if you do want a super goalie. Like, he's cheaper than Alisson, cheaper than, like, Courtois. Like, obviously, Alisson not in the pool, but, like, in terms of those, like, expensive goalies at 31.5 million, like, Donnarumma is the best value of the super keepers.
I think I'd still be hanging on for De Gea. I've never understood why he was so good, but then I saw Holly use him and have an outrageous time with him multiple times. I picked him up last time, and he genuinely was outrageous. His shot stopping was.
Oh yeah, he single-handedly beat me. De Gea single-handedly beat me in the Super League.
I don't even know how he does it. Like it's just outright shot stopping. He's maybe going to mess up the occasional crosses and stuff, but he's so good at just stopping.
I will bring this up because I was on the panel at the same time. He got a 6.1 in the final, so it's I know he saved 2 penalties to get you there. It was one of those.
Swings and roundabouts, mate.
He needed a day off. It's fine. Who cares? It's only the final.
Yeah, exactly. Fox in the Box has picked up Tonali. JDFM has picked up. Just having a quick look now. Not picked up there. Kazeya's gone for Mozza, so we're over to Murph. Trying to catch up on the Goretzka went for JDFM. I think I was blinded by his skin, so I couldn't see that one. Yeah, Goretzka's an outstanding box to box, every type of position in midfield you could want. Goretzka can do.
I even love him as a DM too. He's got the size to play DM really well.
Yeah, Matt, are you okay to leave the call and rejoin again if you just give a refresh? You just seem to have gone out of sync a little bit.
Yeah. So I just hit the red button.
If you just refresh, I think that might be the easiest way for you.
Okay. Oh wait, hang on. Well, just refresh the tab.
Yeah, there you go. Done. Sorted.
Magic, lads, magic.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Man, well, I was far more stressed than the fix.
Right, Weggy has gone for Murph. So Murph has picked
the
up there.
Walton, as I think someone called him. I'm not too sure.
Walton.
The Walton.
Big Veg.
I kind of like the Walton. It's too good to not use.
I wonder if Alice was thinking that Weghorst might slip to her in the 3rd round, and then seeing Murph take Weghorst could mud her a little bit.
Yeah, there's a few. There's a couple of clips been made of Holly because she's upset from losing out on Skamaka. So I think she might have been waiting for him to be available, but it's not come round.
I think a lot of people wanted him.
Yeah, do you think Holly's more upset than Breezy is?
Yeah.
I don't know. Picking Jerome Boateng, I'd be pretty upset at first pick, to be honest.
Front?
Maybe.
And Weigl. Like, I don't really rate Weigl either. Like, this Boateng Weigl pick 1-2 is
I like
not
Weigl.
like.
Tim Lewis has picked up
like
Emre
him.
Can, which is an outstanding pick from last time as well. And I think just because he's quite well rounded, very sneaky.
Yeah,
pick.
Chan is great.
Yeah.
Maybe it leaves a bit open to red cards, though. I've learned that the hard way. But, I mean, he worked in the qualifiers, didn't he? So,
Yeah.
go for the same again, I guess.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Now wait with Alice. So Alice so far, Chiesa. No, not Alice. That's not Alice. Where are we? Scroll across my page and I'll find it. Alice got Depay and Havertz so far, so no defensive.
Which
Focus.
actually is
The
the
script
approach
that I've
Salah's in the
given
works
her-
for.
The script in the past we've talked about is always attackers first. So if she stays that course, then I see another attacker here. But
Who's
It's interesting actually that she
Alice's out of nowhere pick going to be? Any predictions? Who did we have last time? Trying to remember.
I mean, if she takes Lucas Nemecha here, that's a candidate because I don't think he's particularly great.
Well, there was somebody last time. I need to probably look back on my notes. I know Joaquin made an appearance and did really well for somebody at 40. Which brought up,
FM Lom as a top tier commentary.
yeah, I was just about to say because he was breastfed until he was 5 years old. I mean, you know, she's picked up Makoku. I mean,
Ooh,
another
that's
one.
brave.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not a starter, right? She's taking
No.
Makoku to be the difference maker off the bench, and he's got the pace, finishing, composure to do that.
Especially against tired legs.
That's an example too, what I was talking about a second ago, where you do have to kind of evaluate this draft as taking backups early because you're counting on getting a starter in round 6 or 7. And she picks really early in round 6, so maybe she's seeing that third starting attacker to go with Havertz and Depay in that 6th round, so she would take a backup here, which makes sense.
Yeah, I guess it's more like picking almost like round 8 here, even though it sort of is, it's like an ersatz round 8. And particularly as she's already got Havertz, who actually was McKinsey's 4th choice, so he's not going to go 4 for 4. That we do know.
I can see Holly hovering. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, Hood's picked up Politano, and I don't know if Holly's assessing this or she just realised he's just gone.
I think no. I think clicking on entry because she's been sat on Ioannis Hadji for a while, and I'm not sure whether to be worried about the first 3 picks or to think she's got some big planned for pick 6 when it comes to her first pick. But so far, yeah, I've been quite surprised. There's been picks that I've not seen picked in a long time in some of these pools, so I don't know what the plan is. I'm not too sure what the thought process is for this, but I guess that's the fun of it, trying to find out and figure it out.
Yeah,
and there's your Romanian. I don't know if it would be Hadji or Antone, the backup at striker for Brighton, but
yeah, I was going to say Hadji might have been picked from Moza because of the Rangers connection, but that's probably about all I could see him going for. Apparently, yeah, Limo's fuming. Makoko's gone. Obviously, a favourite of Limo to bring off the bench late on, or in his later games when everyone's suspended. So Timber's gone. Over to Hood.
Timber has not gone to Hood. Sorry, Timber's gone to Holly.
Yeah, to
which
Holly,
again is as a pick where I'm thinking, okay, maybe I see it in a couple seasons time. Right now, though, for like that price range, like Dumfries is around about the 15 to 20 million mark. Like he's still there. Well, it's 20.5 million. He's still available. He is a bloody beast, attacking from the fullback position and defensing. He can do it all. So, I'm not too sure what the thought process is. I think there's definitely better options for a similar sort of price range. I don't know if Holly's trying to save too much, which I think a lot of people did in the qualifier groups who are quite new to the playoffs format, because obviously in the showdown, which is what she'd be used to, you play 2 games a week. In the playoffs you only play 1, so rotation is not as important. It's more prep for injuries and suspensions. So we'll see if she falls victim to maybe that mindset, like we saw a couple of the other streamer showdown regulars do.
Do you think that maybe it's more of a, because it is sort of essentially a Nursat's 9th round pick, that maybe it's just because of versatility and maybe she just doesn't want to go quite so big at this point, and maybe just save a bit of that money and just have a guy that can cover some different positions and just sit in the squad and do a job, maybe?
Maybe, because Ioannis Hadji, he's ambidextrous. He's quite quick. He's got a bloody good cross on him, and he's not too bad from free kicks. So having that option to come off the bench late on in a game can give you a lot of options. I'm not too sure with Timber. I know he can play in the sort of centre-back role, but I personally wouldn't feel too comfortable with him being my backup centre-back. And if you're going for that fullback option, you want somebody who can play both on the right and on the left. Not too sure how good Timber is when it comes to that sort of thing. So there's a lot of things to consider. Maybe I'm just not considering it.
So Castrovilli's gone for FM Girl.
Yeah, I love that pick.
Luke de Jong's gone to Tim Lewis as well.
She had Castrovilli in the run to the semis the last time around too in the playoffs, and he was very integral to that performance in one of the midfield too as a starter for that price range too. Like, you can't beat 4.8 million for a starter in the midfield that will excel for her as like a CM attack or box to box midfielder. Castrovilli's great.
And Jonathan Tarr's gone for Stinger, who's also got the same skin as JD. I don't know if that's something that's spreading throughout the manager's seat. Jamal Masala has been picked up by, it's 40 million for an 18-year-old. I mean, is it a bit
actually
much?
think that's a great pick. If you look at his dribbling,
I think that pick is bonkers.
It's phenomenal. Ball control, dribbling, all of that stuff. It's a good pick in my opinion.
40 million is a
Decision
lot,
making,
though.
concentration for 40 million.
It's a risky take, mate. If you gamble, risk is reward.
He was a
Usually the
candidate
house
for
wins.
one of my fraud picks.
That's probably why you win things and I don't, to be fair. If I'm saying let's get him.
So Suli's just gone for Mozza, so that's a meaty man at the back to go with Mancini, I'm guessing.
I think
JD
he was
is
high up
next.
on the centre-back priority list for Mozza, which seems like is going quite according to plan. I've not seen anybody really pick anyone Mozza was hoping to get a hold of.
I don't know if we missed this by accident, but JD's first pick was Moise Keane.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's one of those.
Interesting.
He usually goes later down the line.
I like
yeah.
Keane.
Yeah.
I like
He's-
Keane as off the second striker. He's quick. He has decent composure, like good finishing, good technique. He's not super expensive either.
No. It's about 21, I think, if I remember correctly.
It'll just kind of depend who he pairs him with.
Yeah.
Like if he's pairing him with like a Dominic Calvert-Lewin type, then I love the Moise Keane pick. So
I mean, it shows
No,
how
we'll get-
out of date this skin is as well, because that's a New Balance kit for Liverpool. That's about 4 seasons ago.
and Wijnaldum's wearing a Liverpool
And
kit.
he's now he's on now he's on his third club since there, because he's just gone to Roma, hasn't he? So it's like, yeah.
Glory
He's
days,
gone
I
for
guess.
Windell. There we are. Oh, Windell, left back.
Oh, I love that pick.
He's just
He's such
very
a good,
well
'cause
rounded.
he's so cheap, and you get so
Yeah.
much for the money. Vindal's been like he's always like my backup pick when I've exhausted like Johnny and people like that, just that can cover everything. But Vindal, he's just so good. I love that pick.
I like Windall a lot, but only as a backup. So
Yeah.
hopefully that's where he lands. As a starter, he's got some traits that I don't love, but he's an amazing cover, like wingback or fullback.
It's just the price point. It's you won't get better for that price point, particularly as a backup, like you say. It's just it's great.
Not too sure
Martin.
why Breezy's so excited there.
I don't know if he's excited or just annoyed. I don't know if Martin de Roon was on his list as well, because Martin de Roon's just gone there.
Oh, McKinsey's not going to like that
Yeah.
Oh,
because his 5th round picks, two of them have already gone, and he's got one more left on his list. So see
I'm
if he gets him.
interested. We started off McKinn's flying really high. By the end of it, is he just going to be in the mud? We'll see.
Yeah, he just gets those 3 picks and none of the others.
Yeah. So it started so well.
To be fair, if you were going to get 3 picks, though, might as well be your first 3.
Yeah, 100%. The ones that you're gunning for. But again, it's technically just a completely new pool, and after the pick after the next for everybody.
David Raum has just gone for Breezy. I'm going to give my full on. I don't know. Anyone? Want to field that one? David Raum, left back. No, thought not.
He's a man named David.
Yeah.
So,
David Raum. I can't spell it. That's the problem. I can't pretend to look smart if I can't spell his name.
Raum.
Hoffenheim left back. Okay, there you go. I knew that.
Yeah, there you go.
Born in Nuremberg on the 22nd of April.
Well, this is what you're here for, to watch the FM playoffs. So, expert insight and analysis.
Yeah. Matt knew
second
that off the
yellow
top
card.
of his head
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
He's,
no,
like,
he's
I know.
not just
10,
riffing.
10 tackling.
Oh,
10
there
tackling
we
for
go.
Lonzo.
We got
That's the
a
scary part.
tribute. There we are. Yes. And
What's his
McKinsey's
speed saying,
picking
though?
up. McKinsey's picked up Donny van der Beek, so that will be
Yes.
should be the first one going
Great
out
pick.
of our list.
It's weird actually because he said his 5th pick, he had Darun, he had Chan, who I think is already gone, and his 5th pick was supposed to be Tonali. But I'm guessing because he didn't get Havertz, he's decided to change things up a little bit and get Van der Beek. And that's just, I love that pick. Great value.
Miron Boadou's gone for Limo. A lot of Limo picks have gone, which I don't think he expected. Moise Keane's obviously a regular for Limo. Obviously,
Makoko as well, so early on.
Makoko's gone. Adeyemi's being hovered over now. Yep,
Just like some
Adeyemi's
quick.
his second pick. Yeah, that's it. Back to McKinn's.
Ooh, okay.
I will say quickly too, the David Round pick and the Windall pick both are great picks on the Gouter index too.
Okay.
Lots of high CA to price value.
Yep.
we'll see how he performs. And I suppose 800 is it a good index to use when a player is that low? Like in terms of 850k, does it suggest that it is actually a really good pick, or is it just a case of the price is just remarkably low? It is always going to show as favorable. That's the question I'd be asking.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to because that you're right. If there was no budget. But since there is a budget, there's a lot of value to having a high current ability compared to your value. So, it is in itself an attribute to be cheap in draft mode because there's a budget. In an unlimited draft, obviously, it wouldn't matter.
Question about the Galdor Index. You care to explain what the Galdor Index is, Stick, for our viewers at home?
Yeah, I mean, it's a simple fraction of your current ability sort of divided by the price to kind of give you how many attribute points are you getting per dollar or per pound spent. It's just a really important tool it's an important tool to have in these budgeted draft modes. And it becomes even more important the smaller the budget gets. Then that increases the relevance of something like the Galdor Index, named after one of our stat maestros behind the scenes for the playoffs.
Yeah. Daniel Mallon went for Mr. McKinns.
That's interesting because he's deviated from his strategy entirely now. And I wonder if that's because he's got some of the picks that he wanted in the early rounds from the first draft pool. And now he's thinking, because he originally, from what maybe I won't say just in case, but he was looking for a big striker from both draft pools. And maybe since he got Lukaku, he thought, do I need a second big striker here that's going to be a big budget player? And now he's gone for Daniel Mallon. He's not expensive, is he? So, yeah, solid.
Another pick that's probably a backup, though. Yeah. Right. And Mullen's a great change of pace guy to come off the bench, just like Mokoku is. Will bang in the goals after the 80th minute when those defenders are tired.
Nice. I think Foxy's having a sneakily alright draft to start off with. I mean, it could go wrong in the next 5 picks, but that's not a bad first 4 picks. De Roon, Tonali,
I love Martin de Roon too.
Yeah.
Martin de Roon's who I would have taken if I was looking for a big meaty anchor man instead of Fellaini. Martin de Roon is fantastic.
Foxy's team is really tall as well. All of the players he's got, I think. Anyway, maybe he's just building for pure height throughout the entire squad because, no one's surely going to have great height in every position. And if you can win every aerial battle, you know how important that can be in FM. Just those silly little challenges in midfield that makes one chance go your way could be the difference.
He's just taken Stefano Senso, I think, who is 5'5", so that backs up your point there really well.
Disregard that. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It was almost just as soon as you said they were all really tall, he just clicked yes. There we go, 5'5".
And then that comes up.
Yeah. I was feeling so smart for 5 seconds.
Give me this.
It's a numbers game, though. I mean, if you have 5 or 6 people with 15 jumping reach or higher, that's how you stop set pieces. Because you need to double team the biggest threat, and you can't do that unless you have that 5th player who's with that 15 or 16 jumping reach. So after that, you can take small boys if you want. You just got to have those 5 somewhere on your team. And so lining those guys up. You can't take
small boy stick. That's very inappropriate.
Oh God! Right. JD has picked up Kevin De Bruyne. Wow, 92 million gone, 213 left for his last 15 picks off that pick. That is a big, bold pick. Ali, 92 million. What say you?
If it's a key component in your team, bloody get it. I think there's enough cheap picks in this pool to sort of be moved around. If that's what you need to make something working, by all means do it. There's plenty of bargains to be had. There's some really good pools. There's some really good players at really low prices. So 100%, I don't knock it at all. If that's your difference maker, by all means bring him in. You obviously have to question that with it being the fifth pick, but we'll see how it plays out because you see people getting 2 players worth 70, 60 million, and that's a stick piano tactic every time he drafts. And he's quite good at it, especially when we're generally looking at £350 million budgets, and this one's 400. You got another 50 million to play with compared to what you've had in previous playoffs. So I rate it. I do.
I mean, De Bruyne is incredible, but you kind of have to question, like, in the first round of the next set of people, you can get people like Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva. Like, there are people that are like 30 to 40 million cheaper than De Bruyne who are not that different than the kind of players that De Bruyne would give you. So I question a little bit the value here when there's really good playmakers coming up in round 6.
Especially with the budget as it is. Yeah. If this was unlimited, then maybe, but...
If it's unlimited, De Bruyne is one of the 3 or 4 best players in the pool, I think, personally. He's incredible.
So a quick catch up on picks. Pitania's gone for Murph. Moz has picked up Christian Benteke. We'll come back to
Fantastic
that one.
pick.
And Stinger's not come up, but Baku's just gone for Tim Lewis. So we're on to FM Girl. But yeah,
I mean,
Christian Benteke. Is he the big man that's going to get him through stuff, or is that a backup completely?
I had a conversation with Mozza. He wants a big meaty man. Benteke, I would not be surprised if he starts. If you're looking for that all out and out target forward, he fits the bill. He's got the height, he's got the jump reach, he's strong, he can finish. His heading accuracy is not too bad as well. I think if you're looking for a lamppost, then he's a good one to aim at. It's exactly why Andy Carroll's so good. It's because he's going to beat everybody in the air and can then potentially do something with it. His passing isn't too bad as well. Sometimes you'll see that target forward, if they're on support, coming back a little bit. Maybe they're not that quick, can't get in the box quite quick enough, but and then maybe able to put a cheeky ball through to the what I presume Timo Werner is going to be the advanced forward. So I think it's a really good pick. I think could be sleeping on it if we're not rating it.
As Lamppost goes, he's up there.
Yeah, Son Juice has gone for FM Girl. I'm sure Stick will be delighted about that one. I think
I do. I love Yeri Saint-Just.
And Pacina's gone for Hood. And now we're on to Holly, who's going to be the last pick of this round. And then we swap player pools. So we'll be on to the England, Portugal, Spain, Scotland, and Turkey. Yes, got all 5. Really happy about that. Out of interest, I did mention it earlier. FM Girl's random pick last time was Frank Ribery, so I think she might do another. So who's out there?
I'm excited.
So Holly's pick,
Carroll again.
Holly's last pick was Dries Mertens, and now she's on the first pick of the new pool. Is Sir David De Gea going?
No way.
He's on a screen.
I'd get him.
Oh my goodness.
I would. And I think she might too.
Yeah.
She knows what he can do. Like, he's been
She
so
doesn't
good
want
for
to
her in
lose
the
him.
past.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he will go early just because of the reputation he's got. Has she gone for Calvert-Lewin? Yep, DCL.
Wow.
There's no in between for De Gea, though. Like, are you comfortable taking someone that's just maybe not just as likely, but there's a decent chance just tanks your entire performance?
As long as he doesn't do it in the final, then
Doing the group stages, lad. You got one game.
And as predictable as you could ever be, Reece James is going to go for Hood.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, I know exactly how I could even skip that one. I mean, I've seen where that one is. So.
I know the DCL and Reece James are 2 players that FM Girl was kind of hoping to see here at 3rd overall. So
she does not look happy.
She did know she was behind Hood, who'd pick Reece James like over his mother, I think. So.
No, I mean she knew. It's the other player who I assume she's going to take here, and I don't mind saying it because if she doesn't, somebody will in this next round is Tammy. So my guess is she just slams Tammy here, and is really happy with that pick.
If you don't get DCL, Tammy's the next best thing in that same
role.
role.
I think Tammy's better personally, but DCL is cheaper, so that adds some value.
So there goes CR7 to Tim Lewis.
Oh.
Wow.
If he plays anything like he did for Dupe in the group stages, I think Ronaldo single-handedly took him from losing his first 3 games to getting qualified. Unfortunately, obviously wasn't able to make it today. But if you play him in the right way, if you play him as a poacher, he's bloody good. And I think he'll bag some goals.
For me, he's one of those players that he's kind of like a Neymar, where they have the attributes to make everything work, but if they don't turn up, they really don't turn up.
I think personally that's influenced by the way that the user plays him. I think Cristiano Ronaldo, if you're going to pick him, you have to play him as a poacher. Anything else, absolute waste of time. He is going to have a mare. He's dropping a stinker. But in that one specific role, with his attributes, not stats, he's going to score goals. It purely depends on if Tim follows that sort of mold.
He works as a target forward too.
Yeah.
Very similar to a poacher role, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I like him in the, like, if you're going to pick someone from this player pool and don't care about value, the person who probably most closely associates with Giroud is probably Ronaldo. Honestly, if you compare their two like attribute cards, they're very similar players.
Murph's differing a bit here. I don't think he really had a plan. I'm guessing he had players that he wanted and they've already got. Luis Alberto went for Stinger, the last pick.
That's a stinger pick.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, he plays in Serie A. It's a Stinger pick. It's usually the way.
He's taken him a ton of times before. You could have booked that before the draft.
Yeah,
He's looking at Demiral, though, one of the picks we highlighted earlier.
Oh, and Demiral's just gone. So there we are.
Fantastic pick.
Yeah, of course you would. You would say that. So Mozza sat hovering over Jamie Vardy. John Henderson's there as well. Did you have Henderson in your Super League team? Matt, did I imagine?
I think I did, but I've
get
struggled
injured?
with centre midfielders. I always find that they just, again, they're very hit and miss, but it's probably just me. But he was decent. And for box to box type of midfielders, he's probably one of the best out there because he just has everything. And I do like him, and the price point's pretty decent too.
Yeah, I remember.
The only thing I don't love about Henderson is that he's right-footed only. So he like favors that right foot so much that you can defend him if you like do the opposition instruction to push him onto his opposite foot. Like you can take Jordan Henderson out of the game.
Yeah. Just see where Mozza's going with his pick. Bernardo.
Mozza went Bernardo. Bernardo was one of Mozza's primary choices for that midfield. I know the exact role he's going to play him in. I don't know if I should share it. I don't know if Mozza would mind, but we might leave it as a surprise. If it works like it has in practice, he's going to be dangerous.
So we had two really quick picks there. One of them was Harry Kane, and that was to Fox in the box. Has that now just put his entire draft in the mud?
It's Foxy. He has a plan. He's going to put him at left back or something. I know him.
After his previous two draft competitions that he's been in since coming back, I'm beginning to think he wants to drop stinkers with a pick like that.
He's sandbagging so he gets a better draft pick. Wait, is that how it works?
If there's anyone in this pool though that would take the risk of playing Harry Kane as a central midfielder, it would be Fox in the Box.
That's very true.
So he probably has a plan.
Jadon Sancho for JD and James Ward-Prowse has gone very late, I think, for Breezy. But yeah.
At least his set piece delivery is going to be quality.
Limo Fuming.
So do you like that Lorenzo Luca pick anymore now that he has James Ward-Prowse?
No. Andy Carroll's right here, boss. Do you know what I mean?
I was going to say, I can't wait for Sunday when you ask that question again and again and again. McKinn's looking at Trent. Yep, the better right back. Right. Yeah, exactly.
I also don't. Trent was another possibility for my fraud FC pick, so that probably tick you off too. Jebberu is my guess, but
I might hang you up.
I like how you said that's casually.
Yeah. Right. Oh, I've gone to Holly here. Sorry, one moment. Limo, there we are. So Limo picked up Ruben Neves. Classic Limo pick. He was in his team last time out. Is Jamie Vardy making a return or is he gone? He's having a sip of beer.
I mean, the midfield duo of Neves and Barella is pretty spicy.
Mm-hmm.
In his 4-4-2, they can do a lot of different roles.
He's obviously got the tunes on.
I feel like you might have forgotten that he's got two picks.
He's got a second.
Sniping.
Yeah,
I'm happy for him.
Yeah. You're also jealous that he's vaping and you're not. Great.
Yeah, a bit. Mostly that.
Okay. Let's make it a rule. Next time we come around to Limo, you can vape along with him. How about that? There you go. We'll allow
What
it
if
as
he's
a
not
rule. Well, no, you can't vape with him.
Right. Smoking is bad, everybody. I just want to get that out there.
Pau Torres has gone for Limo, and Galan went straight away for McKinn, so we'll skip over to Breezy.
If you're someone that wants left-footed center backs, Pau Torres is the best one in the pool, and it's not close.
So good.
Bastoni may be the only person that's like, okay, hey, look at me, and Laporte. But I think Torres, especially for 38 million compared to Laporte's 50 something, that's really great. Torres is incredible.
So Tamori, so they've gone a bit fast on the pick, so we'll ask guys in the back who can ask some slowdowns, please. Tamori went for Breezy. Fox in the box picked up Rafael Leao. 39 million of Rafael Leao. He's throwing away a lot of money. And
yeah, I like him. I don't know if I love him at that price in next player pool.
I was going to say. And now we're with JD. He's looking for Galan. He's already gone. Unless you get confused. I don't think he will, though. No.
But Leao is pretty good in the air. So he's another one of those players Fox can continue to like tick off into his starting lineup as like he's now got a inside forward that can actually help on set pieces, which is pretty rare. So you do have to add a couple tall players at positions that aren't normally tall to really answer the set piece meta, and he's done that with Leao.
JD seems to be taking his time with that.
He was looking for Galan for quite a while, but now I think he's looking for Ferran Torres. Yep, there we are. Ferran Torres goes.
Great pick. 15 million for Ferran. Playing multiple positions, that's a fantastic pick.
Ferran Torres is the 15 million that I like the most. I like him better than Zaniolo personally, especially because Zaniolo's one-footed only and Ferran Torres isn't. And Ferran Torres can play striker as like an advanced forward and is really good as well. So I love the Torres pick.
My Mozza stream is a little bit behind, so I will give a refresh around him.
This is the first time Mozza's looked slightly stumped. And I don't think it's because of lack of options. He was kind of debating with himself whether to go for the man he's looking at right now, Jude Bellingham, and amongst others. I think he's a bit spoiled for choice. I think he's had a really good shortlist in terms of not many of his options have been picked up by the other 11 competitors here, which doesn't happen very often. So what do you do in that situation? It's looking like he's going to go for Jude Bellingham at 21.5 million. Despite being young, he's still really good when the game starts. I think Mozza's going to have a really strong one. Yet again, probably perhaps some of the finals appearance, hopefully not winning it.
Off to Murph. So Murph so far has Locatelli, Koopmeiners, Weghorst, Musiala, Petagna and Demaral. That's quite a strong base to his team. Musiala, maybe a question on how much he was, but other than that, he's got 256 million left. He's going for Aymeric Laporte. So you talked about left-footed centre-backs. I mean, £55 million worth. Bit too pricey?
In 400 million... In 400 million, it's close to too pricey. He is elite, so like I'm not gonna like. You're getting an incredible player at that price point. Pau Torres would have been my favorite, and I think it would have been his favorite too. Is right there on the short list, and is like 20 million pounds cheaper. So, but Laporte is phenomenal. You're getting a lot for that price, but maybe a little bit too expensive.
Pedro Porro's gone for Stinger, who might be naked. I don't know. I've just realised he's shirtless. So we'll move on quickly.
Quickly loads up Stinger's stream behind the scenes.
I thought you were saying Pedro Porro's naked, and I wondered.
Yeah, he might be as well.
Watching there.
He might be really excited about it. I don't know. Tim Lewis has picked up Bruno Fernandes to go with his Ronaldo. So there you go. They can have a fight over free kicks. FM girl next.
Not naked, wearing hat, indeed.
I expect her to start looking at defenders now pretty soon. She only has the one, and it's not used, so I expect to see a mid-range price point left back or some center backs now.
Kieran Tierney's 41 million on this. Wow.
It's really good, though.
Yeah, I know, but that's a lot. There we are. Oh, apparently he's wearing a hat, so he's not naked. Kieran Tierney's gone for FM Girl. Over to Hood.
That's Kieran Tierney was one of my picks before as well, turning green. So she's FM Girl does have 2 of the picks that I highlighted before the draft. So Alice is paying attention.
So who have you got left? Who is your are all your picks now gone? Was Lukaku?
Lukaku was the other one.
Nice.
My bingo board is full.
Yes.
Mine's nowhere near fully, I don't believe. Again, that's probably why I don't do very well in drafts.
Tierney, I like compared to a lot of the big left backs because he doesn't have gets forward whenever possible. So, like, if you tell him to attack, he'll attack when he's supposed to, but he won't attack, like, with abandon. And so that keeps him off less cards than someone like Robertson, which is why I think Robbo's the fraud and Tierney isn't. So I love Tierney for that. Not just the flexibility, but also that he doesn't get forward whenever possible.
So Nuno Mendes is gone for Hood. Ollie's looking at Asensio at the moment. I know United City's a big fan.
On the screen.
Yeah. She didn't realize. Yeah, she didn't realize it was his pick.
Nah, it wasn't working for her. I just saw the panic in her eyes, like, because it wasn't working. As time was ticking away. Not knowing how long you've got as well, because the draft timer wasn't on. It was I could have gone quite wrong, but She's been looking at Asensio quite a lot. She did have De Gea flick up, but she obviously has a double pick, so she could potentially get them both, but she's only got 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, quick, just make that pick now. There you go. De Gea's gone. So David of De Gea is gone.
Asensio later.
Yep. She's got another minute 30 to spell that now. Yeah, one of Kev's picks last time. So Kev's very happy about us. Asensio.
Hasn't picked Asensio yet, Kev, so might hold off if she doesn't get him now and somebody else snaps him up.
I think Stick was making a point there, but he might have been on mute.
Yeah, De Gea's just super streaky is all I was going to say. If he has a bad first game, then I fear for Holly. But if he has a good first game, could carry her all the way to the knockouts. So it's just what happens in that first game morale-wise for De Gea.
So Holly's got 263 left, so she's got a fair bit of money left. I mean, some people are delving down towards about 150. I think Foxy's going to be quite low on budget once he's picked his 10.
I have no idea what Holly's doing.
No, I don't know. Did you remember she's got a double pick?
I don't know. Looking for someone. I'm not too sure who.
She is scrolling for days. She's in the cheap seats at the moment, and like, there's a lot of players down there.
Yes.
Why? Williams is quite easy to
not
spell.
On her short
you could have searched.
either.
You could have searched that.
So she's gone for Jordan
like
Williams. Cool.
I've got so many questions.
Yep. If only we could talk to her afterwards. Oh well, stay tuned. Ben White looking like he's going to go for Hood. Who's got Snuggie in the chat with him? Interesting.
Oh, that's a dangerous combo.
Yeah. It's interesting where the assistant managers spread themselves on this one. There's familiar faces on each one.
And SNG's been quiet lately. SNG's been working on some music things behind the scenes as well. So like we still chat a lot over Discord, but hasn't been on the FM scene much lately. So it's good to see him back though.
Yeah, definitely.
Aww. Friends.
It's taking his time. There we are. Done. I think came up in the chat earlier. Turkish players outside of Soyuncu and Calhanoglu? Anyone?
Yazici for sure.
Yazici.
Yeah.
Yazici's better than both of those two, in my opinion. 14.5 million for what he can do is absolutely phenomenal.
There's a budget DM too, Okai Yokushlu, that's also really good as well.
Yeah, I've had success with Calhanoglu. I mean, if you get him right as a Mazzala or centre midfielder on attack with the right players around him, he's brilliant. And he's also got set pieces to boot as well.
Let's not forget about the Turkish goalkeepers as well. Bayender. There's another one that I'm really bad at pronouncing.
Shakir.
Yeah, there we go.
Shakir, yeah,
Shakir is really good.
So there's plenty of Turkish plays to go. I'd definitely be looking at the goalkeeper side if it was me in the hot seat. But we'll see. We'll see if anybody else decides to snap them up.
Tyrone Mings has gone for Alice. Angelino gone for Tim Lewis. And let's see if Stinger's put some clothes. No, he has got a hat on. He was right. He's not naked. He's not violating terms of service. Don't stand up, please.
And not for nothing, Burak Yilmaz is pretty good backup striker.
Yeah,
too.
I was just about to say Yilmaz. Somebody said
Phenomenal
Ozil. No.
No, you're close, but you're not quite there.
I was going to say that could be an Alice pick, one of those last ones, but yeah.
I actually
Helena's gone for Stinger, who he looked phenomenal against Liverpool the other day. Looks like a right back.
Ozil is 24 million still, though.
Yeah.
What a signing! Bet you're well chuffed, Matt.
He should not be at Fulham.
That's probably the nice. Like I don't understand how what you're wearing is a Fulham shirt. I clocked that there's Fulham badges on it. Yeah, I rate it. Best thing Fulham have ever done.
Sneaking in there. Shirt's like relegated.
The relegation party shirt.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt.
Just catching strays here.
Sorry, mate.
I think with Fulham this season, I think from the signings you've made, I mean, I think you've got a very good chance of staying up. And if Mitro's like he was on Saturday every week, I mean,
yeah, I think the injury to Solomon's not great, but
no. Llorente, he's backed out. Nearly went for it. The most versatile player on the game with Llorente.
I have a big set.
I like Saul better at just like 3 million more. I think Saul is better than Llorente personally.
Does Saul lack a little bit of pace? Or...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And a little bit more centrally. That Llorente can play a little wider better, although Saul can play wide on the left okay. I mean, Saul's like 13s in pace and acceleration. It's not like he's unusable in terms of pace, but...
Get pelters in the chat because I'm only praising Fulham because Liverpool didn't beat them. No, I'm being nice.
I'm just he's being nice. Yeah. I'm just as surprised as everybody else.
I mean that's the Spurs fan in the chat. They won a game. Well done. Right, Kepa. Kepa goes for JD. I mean, classic.
Great pick. So
cheap keeper. Yeah. And my least favourite defender is about to be picked. Getting better at saying his name, but yep. Tosin Adarabioyo. There you go, I've done it.
Hey, there we go.
I have seen
big flex from that.
I have seen Kepa play that same role that De Gea plays, where if he starts with a bad game, that like eccentricity and like lack of consistency as one of those hidden attributes is just really hurts players like Kepa if they start on the wrong foot. So it's such a short, like 5-game group stage. Like if Kepa starts bad and is inconsistent, it's gonna be too late before he turns it around.
I don't know, for 3.8 million. Is it 3.8 million? He's just so cheap. And I feel like, I don't know how much I find that goalkeepers are so hit and miss in general on just having that extra money available to invest elsewhere. That's just how I like to play it though.
For sure. It's just a dice roll is all I'm saying. Like he has excellent value for money.
I thought Breezy was going to pick McSauce then, but he was going for the scroll bar. I was about to get very excited.
No, exactly.
I was about to get a little bit Stinger up in here with the shirts coming off. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, Rafa Suarez went for Foxy and Jamie Vardy has gone for Breezy. Just for the team in the back, they're questioning whether Holly drafted Asensio or Jordan Williams. It was Jordan Williams. just to confirm.
The right back.
Yeah.
There's 2 Jordan Williams. It was the right back. So
I don't know either, guys.
No, we don't know. But yeah,
hang on a minute. I think you'll find.
Yeah.
500K from Barnsley right back. A lot of 12s and 13s, like a decent backup option. I think there are better ones in that price range, but if that's the one Holly likes and knows, there's not that much between Jordan Williams and the other choices.
He is actually quite well rounded as a backup, anyway.
I think Brandon Williams is better and might be the one that Holly was looking for, maybe, but
he's called Williams. That'll do.
All the same, mate. All the same. Every Williams.
Robbie Williams.
Yeah, Matt, you're doing that finger without moving your mouth again, so you might just need a quick refresh.
Oh, no problem at all. Either that or I've become a ventriloquist.
Yeah, there we are. He's back again. Joe Gomez has gone for McKinns.
He fell off. He fell off hard, didn't he? Joe Gomez. In terms of being someone who everyone would pick, like last year. Man, he fell off
for a reason.
Yeah. So when throwing's broken, he'll creep back in. Like, I'm back, baby. We're back in the game, and then all of a sudden there's a patch and he's gone again.
It's a good 6 months every year.
Yeah. Bless him.
Aaron Ramsdale's gone for Limo. Another keeper went. Unai Simon went for Murph as well. Thanks for the raid, Salty. Welcome in.
The Gomez pick means that he'll partner Rudiger. So that was the second center back that McKinn's has taken as well. So that's the center back partnership. There is going to be Gomez Rudiger.
Also, you've got about 30 seconds left. I'd say I gave you something that you could do while Limo was vaping, and you've completely forgot. So it's your own fault. We don't encourage smoking here at the FM Playhouse, just to or any type of vaping. Right.
Steven. Matt's getting a severe fine.
Andy Robertson has gone. Andy Robertson's gone. So I think you're very close to having a full house, Mr. Stick. Just one more to go.
I hate when Stick wins, regardless of what it is. He's winning here. He wins the draft. It just annoys me.
And I think the argument.
I don't know if anyone's going to take the Akanu though.
Yeah, I think the argument with Andy Robson, he does get a few too many yellow cards, doesn't he? So it's perfect for Limo's system because they're all really nice and don't tackle hard or anything. So
Brexit ball, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's bloody go.
Goncalves. Kev is screaming with joy in the chat as Pedro Goncalves goes. A wonderful player. Yeah, working well.
Thanks, Lima.
Thank you, Lima.
Yeah,
much appreciated. Over
to
the Breezy.
Out there.
Breezy's remembered somebody from his first. He's looking at Ivan Toney again. Ivan Toney was superb for him in the path to the playoffs. It looks like he's going to pick him up here. Yep, Ivan Toney's just gone for Breezy. Picked up a lot of goals and a lot of assists that I think was a bit unexpected.
It's weird because as a target forward, nothing about him particularly screams out for me in terms of his physicality. It's all kind of just 14. He's a 14 across the board. There's nothing that really is like, I'm going to excel at this, but he just does well. You see, I'm not too sure why.
So McKinn's tactic just flashed up on screen too when we were slipping through, and I'm not super I'm a little underwhelmed by that shape now. The 4-3-1-2 was very good at the beginning of the cycle, but something that struck me about that is as everyone prepares for three strikers, most of the things that combat the three striker tactic also combat the 4-3-1-2 really well. So he's maybe walked into a little bit of an issue by trying to not be three strikers. Instead, he's playing a tactic that also loses to the same tactics that beat three strikers. So, like I said with McKinn's earlier, it's always about the tactics. The squad's going to be great, but will the tactics be there?
Yep. And Fox in the Box has picked up the Ox. Just happy to say that. Really
you've been waiting all day just hoping that would happen.
No, it's great that I could say it. I didn't even think it would happen, but there we are. Back to JD. Oh, God, this skin. How can you see any of the attributes at all, like on any of these screens?
Look at that. It's like, literally white on white.
You can't see Taka. Yes. Yeah. Get old pictures, great. Yeah.
He's wearing that shirt really well. He's a great pick.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
He looks really
I do rate Kansa. I do think Kansa's great.
He's gone for Jose Gaia though at 37.4, so he's at 126 million with 11 picks left. So about 10 million a pick there or thereabouts, or 11. On to Mozza.
Oh, I like the look of that, Mazza. Please. Fernando Llorente, please.
Wow, 36.
It's not quite Carroll, but it'll do. You know what I mean? Tall.
Still got look
18
at that
heaven,
natural
does it all.
look at that natural fitness as well. 16 still at that age. That's quite impressive.
Absolute baller. Mazza's done really well. He's drafted players that I'm like excited about, not necessarily because they're good, but because they've just got something about them, which I think can sometimes be the way to go.
So on to Murph. So Murph's got 168 million left. I'm going to look at Kieran Trippier. He's an alright right back. He's just, yeah, he's got no left foot and a little bit slow. Not terribly slow, so.
It's one of them. If you can get into that position with that crossing, if you've got enough tall geezers knocking about, it can be very dangerous. And let's not forget his set piece abilities as well.
The slow wingbacks are just really hard to attack with because the slow wingbacks pick up so many cards when they get behind the attackers.
Do you think it's worth if you're playing like a 3 at the back system? Someone who can potentially cover that wider side, maybe if they're cut out.
I mean, it depends on what you're playing against. If they have 3 attackers and one of your center backs is splitting out wide to cover for Trippier, then you're in really bad shape. But if they only have 2, then you're probably fine.
Yeah. Shout out Tony Jameson in the chat. Tops off Stinger. Yeah, dangerously close to seeing nipples, so may have to interrupt this programming.
Tantalizingly close.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've got that distracted by them. I missed his pick, and Soyuncu has gone for Tim Lewis. So, yeah. I think we all did because Inacio went for Stinger. So.
I've already seen Limos in the Discord today, so let's make it 2 for 2.
Now on to Alice. So I've not booed her for a while, so boo. Yes. Gravy goes on Yorkshire puddings. She's picked up Mason Mount. Ding, 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 Matt.
Yes.
One of your
Great
picks.
choice. I still don't think of her for the Yorkshire puddings, but it's getting there.
I love that pick too. Like Mason Mount Castrovilli as the 2 CMs and that 4-4-2, that 5-2-1-2 tactic is her team is looking really good. Like Depay, Havertz, Abraham, and then Castrovilli and Mount behind them. Like that's really spicy.
So Hood's picked up Renato Sanchez.
Really decent pick that can play a lot of roles in that midfield, even potentially out wide if you need him to. So I think he could start, but if he's not first choice and his versatility for any suspensions or injuries, I think he's got himself a really good option to bring on.
So Holly's got Rice on the screen. Is it Declan? Or is it James Penrice, a Scottish left back from Livingston? I think judging we're going by the left back, which one's it going to be?
Look at some stats for him.
Yeah.
At this point, I genuinely don't know.
Attributes.
Livingston left back, 11 crossing, not bad. 12 tackling, marking not so great,
Oh,
but
okay.
no doubt quite a cheap pick.
He'll do a job.
It'll do a job.
Just, the starting fullbacks of James Penrice and Jordan Williams,
Oh,
You mean the big 2?
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Declan Rice is gone, and it looks like Reguilon's about to go.
Reguilon's a great pick. Does she think that she picked Asensio, maybe?
Don't know. I don't think she
Maybe.
did. I think...
No,
Maybe
because
she's
she was trying to find Asensio and then switch to De Gea. Right?
Yeah.
So she must know that she chose De Gea.
Feel the pressure.
She didn't look sure about that Reguilon
She's
pick.
gone, she's gone for Reguilon. Back to Hood.
Region's in that weird price range. I think there are people who are about the same in like the 10 million range. So it's like, do you think Region is 7 million better than one of the 10 million left backs? I'm not so sure about that.
Time will tell.
Patrick Bamford. Sergei Dardar being looked at.
I've just seen a message to the participants. Holly has picked Asensio, but it's glitched, so don't pick him. So maybe the Williams pick isn't the one that we're going with. We've got to make it up as we go along. We love it when it throws a spanner.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, somebody with Jordan Williams on their short list is fuming right now.
Yeah, Hood's that fuming. He's walked off. I mean, it's just there we are, right? Hood just picked up Rui Patricio. And immediately Kev's in the chat, Holly wins because that Asensio pick. Chris Smalling about to go for Alice.
Like up the behind the scenes people who did not remove Asensio from that box on the sheet. They kept Asensio in there. They do something we didn't. And
yeah.
Just
Chris
Jordan Williams
Smalling's
haters, a
gone.
lot of them.
Yeah,
Probably
Tim
just read the
Lewis
Discord,
next.
to be honest.
So Chris Smalling and Tyrone Mings is a centre back partnership. I'm not sure that's got mistakes somewhere in it.
yeah, I agree. That leaves me. That's the one spot right now where I'm a little bit worried for Alice. Is who is Alice going to get for that third center back? And is Smalling or Mings a backup that was taken because they're cheap, or at least in Mings's case?
So Rodrigo goes for Tim Lewis, and Stinger picked up Danny Olmo. Isn't a bad shout.
That's a very Stinger pick.
Yeah.
He loves a good passer. You don't see Olmo go very often. I feel like he's kind of in that region where he's too similar price to someone like Luis Alberto, who's amazing. And like Sensi, who we've seen go previously, who's got incredibly good passing. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm curious to see how we'll do because we don't get to see it often.
Marco
I feel like
Ruiz.
Olmo's a little slow too.
Yeah. Marco Ruiz gone for Murph. Smalling and Mings an alternate history England pairing if Big Sam kept the job. That's a very valid point. And Andy Carroll will be playing up front, so there we are.
Mate, we could dream. We can bloody dream.
Big Sam 100% would have pivoted to Maguire and like Tarkovsky.
Yeah. So Moz is hovering around Jordan Henderson. I think he has been a couple of times now.
He's not going to get an opportunity to bring him in again for another 5 picks, and who knows how much money he'll be on then. So, could be an now or never sort of scenario for the boss man.
No Andy Carroll gone yet as well, Ali.
I'm really
this could be
pissed
the
off.
4th draft in a row where he's not gone. I mean,
I'm telling you now, if Andy Carroll doesn't go, I'm not showing up on Sunday. There's no point. There's no incentive for me.
Yeah, Cancelo's gone for Mozza, which is a lovely pick.
And Pumpster is saying too, in the pool, Mings and Smalling aren't that bad, which I do agree with. Smalling has to play in the middle of the 3 as like a no nonsense center back or like cover center back or something. But if she can find another ball playing defender for the right, it's going to make that center back trio look much better. So we'll see. Jury's still out, I think, on this defense from Alice.
Yeah, you can see JD here looking for any type of centre back. Nacho and Javi Martinez. I mean.
Not the best options.
Jose Font with his 4 pace. Harry Maguire's there.
Oh, let's not.
And nobody's taken Ruben Diaz, which is interesting.
It's a lot of money.
Do you think that Ruben Diaz gets overlooked a lot because he's a 6'1" centre back when these the big meaty matters so prominent?
I mean, his jumping reach is decent. They've like fixed that a little bit this year. So I think that he's still good. And you see him drafted a lot. I think he's getting hurt by his value in this kind of pool where he wasn't available to round 6. So like spending 63 million on a center back when you're drafting your second center back in round 6 is pretty hard. You needed to have very specifically planned for that. So it's going to hurt a player of his value.
And Livramento's just gone for Fox, and Adarabioyo has just gone for Fox in the box.
I rate that.
Yeah, very common pick.
Would you be able to give us a correct pronunciation as a Fulham fan?
Adarabioyo. Tosin Adarabioyo.
Man.
I think most of the time he goes by Tosin anyway, so...
I think I can see why.
It's that extra O.
Yeah, it just throws you off.
Originally, I thought it was Bioyo, Adarabioyo, or Adarabioyo, because of the... Yeah, but apparently it's just Adarabioyo.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Great defender.
I just got it right. I said exactly that, so leave me alone.
Oh yeah, you asked earlier on. I was just looking out for you, man.
Craig Dawson has gone for Breezy. Definitely with his heart rather than his head. Might be all right at corners, but yeah, even then. No Callum Wilson gone yet, which I'm surprised at.
It's surprising. I guess he's not big and meaty enough, but he'd be great as a player to play alongside someone who is.
Yeah. Could be a very Limo pick actually coming up.
He's the sauce that goes next to the steak.
Yeah.
It's also like you can win drafts without a meaty striker. Like fast strikers are still very good.
McKinsey's listening to me. That's basically what I'm just saying, because Callum Wilson's about to go. Sorry, carry on, Stick.
No, I mean I like Williams too. I think he's good. I think he's overlooked because he's not tall, but he's got the pace to make a difference in this as a starter or a backup. But I think for the price point in this kind of budget pool, he's definitely a starter. But I rate that pick.
Nice. Over to Limo. Oh, sorry.
And he'll play him off of Lukaku, by the way. So when you're talking about how do you play someone that's a left-footed Lukaku with a right-footed Wilson playing off of him, I think that's a good recipe for McKinn's.
Limo down to 134 million with 10 picks, so fair few with about in the 10 to 15 million left to play, yeah?
I think Moz is the worst I've seen on 95 million at this point. Potentially, depending on who Limo picks for, is round number 10.
Yep. And for Nuno Santos at 21 million, so now he's down to 113. And he goes first pick in the next round, and there's a sort of a Ratty on there, but I don't know if that's going to happen. The shortlist is very small, actually.
Usually, you see Limo pull out a couple of plays that maybe no one else is really considering. He seems to have his favourites that nobody else really wants, and I think that can sometimes work for him when he gets it right. Other times, particularly FM22, maybe it hasn't worked as well. So to only have that many at this point is maybe we're going to see something different from Limo. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, he doesn't have a standout. Well, he's got Insigne, but he hasn't really got a standout forward, and usually there is one of them in Limo's team. I mean, Adeyemi's... Yeah, I don't think he's ready.
I think Adeyemi starts for him. I think the only things he cares about are the speed, which is why Moukoko is so important to him generally, because kind of what he has and he's so cheap.
And he's gone for Justin Kluivert. Sure. Gravenberch being looked
Especially
at.
because I don't think Insigne is going to be playing striker for Limo. I think Insigne is going to play left midfield.
Yep. 135 million left for McKinns for his last 10 picks. Question from Kev.
Okay.
In a front two, would you play left foot on the left and right foot on the right, or the other way around? Sorry, you stick.
For me, it's the other way around.
I usually just have them on, left on left, right on right, just because I like strike. I've noticed that strikers seem to work quite nicely shooting across goalkeepers, whereas I feel like when they have when say a right foot striker gets in down the left, I notice so often that they take an extra touch to shift it back to their right foot, and often, for me anyway, maybe I just have bad strikers, they just seem to miss a lot more when they do that, but it might just be that I've got the wrong strikers.
I think it depends on the tactic too. If your strikers are ball carriers in the tactic, then you want what Matt was saying. But if your strikers are just finishers where they're running through the lines onto the ball and then striking it, then I think you want the opposite foot so that their shooting foot is on the inside. They have more opportunities to go far posts or near posts with that. So it just kind of depends how your tactic tends to utilize your strikers.
Usually badly.
I quite like a right foot on the right, left foot on the left, purely because when I've got two strikers, a lot of the time I'll see them maybe go out wide a lot when they're trying to run into some space, and just helps with the crossing because usually they'll be quite tall, and they're able to get on the end of a header, which
One
is...
thing I've noticed that
Go on.
a lot this year lately is just that I feel like if I'm playing particularly two different striker roles up front together, I find that no matter what I want to do, the guy that's going to be running behind, I always seem to want on the left now. I've tried flipping them around a lot, and for some reason, it seems that no matter which foot they favor, that left-hand side just seems to be more productive, and I don't know why. It might just be complete, like, small sample size, but I just think that I have more success with that striker running behind when they're on the left of the two rather than on the right.
Yeah, I've noticed the same as that as well. Like, whoever plays on the left seems to get the goals, and it's very, very strange no matter what foot they are. It might just be we found a broken meta, I don't know.
That's... the same with my current tactic. It's not with multiple strikers, but I have a right winger on the right and an inside forward on the left. And if I switch it around and have the winger on the left and the inside forward on the right, then that inside forward just isn't scoring as many goals. I have no idea why it's the case.
So Gravenberch for McKinns, Cristante for Breezy, Mounier for Box in the Box, and JD's just picked up Kevin Volland.
I'll add another wrinkle to that striker discussion very quickly, is that it kind of depends what your midfield two is doing as well. Because if that striker ends up wide, if they're opposite foot, the way I like it, they'll turn the ball out and then cross. And if you have midfielders attacking, that's fantastic. If you don't, if you're playing like a bunch of DLPs and stuff, then there'll be no one there to cross to. So it really does depend like how the tactic like breaks down.
Pascal Struijk just gone for Mozza. That was on his list. I remember that name on there. 127 million left for Murph.
Yeah, I think about Stinger there though. 231 million left for him. What is his plan?
That's standard Stinger. He'll wait.
Does he not learn though? Because he didn't do well last time out. He's here on a technicality tonight.
Yeah, he picked up. Did he pick up last time? He picked up. Oops, I've got off the sheet now. It's not the clever one. He picked up Bernardo Silva late in the last one, and Diaz actually. So, let's see if that's going to be similar. Struijk was 9.9, so that puts Mozza down. Yeah, he's still like 85 million. Yeah, Stinger's pickup. Stinger's squad from last time had. Luis Alberto, Bernardo Silva, and it was Rui Diaz who picked up all at once. So he pretty much spent about 130 million free picks. So he might do something similar. De Ketelaere has gone for Murph. Speaking of Stinger, here he is, no shirt on. So 231 million, like you said. Somehow still sweating, but there we are.
It's like he's got more sweaty since he's taken the shirt off.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's because we keep talking about it, so now he's getting a bit nervous.
He wants to glisten.
It's a really good for the camera, mate.
Yeah, big fan of wrestling. The baby oil might come out. Who knows? Right.
I did expect more chest hair, I will admit.
Well, maybe there is, and it's just below the camera's eye line. You never know.
There you go. Leroy Sané, 68 million. So the one pick to rule them all for Ali gone.
It's finally someone swords back in me, it feels like.
Where are we? We are on to Tim Lewis.
Sane was phenomenal for me in drafts on FM21. I've had a really hard time getting him to work on FM22.
Castiles goes for Tim Lewis. Yeah, Sane I've not seen drafted a lot. I think it is that price point. It's quite high.
mean, the price doesn't scare me. It's just been like I had a bad experience and haven't had enough opportunity to like wash that out of my mouth.
Yeah,
so I don't know. Like,
And nothing scares Stick. Bloody fearless. What a champ. But now I think Castile's pick, 20 million. That's just a bit too much, isn't it? We discussed Turkish keepers who are in the pool as well. We've talked about Kepa, who I know has been taken, but there's a lot of other players, particularly in the English nationality, that are going to be able to do a very similar job to him, who are less than half of the price for Castile. So I'm not really rating that from Tim. I think that's a little bit too much considering the options that are available.
There's a lot of players in that sort of £5 to £10 million bracket, even lower actually, that could do maybe not quite the same amount in terms of attributes, but the bang for the buck is way better. I mean, maybe it's just because I don't value high value goalkeepers that much, but apart from De Gea, and even he's sort of still mid-range really. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like spending big on goalkeepers, particularly not when the budget is not unlimited. That money could be so importantly put to use in other areas for me.
Fun fact about Castiles: at the beginning of FM, when you could easily get away with putting your goalie up on corner kicks, Castiles actually has the highest heading attribute of all the decent goalies. So you can't see that. Obviously, you have to like use an editor to find that. And Bust the Net was specifically using that exploit at the beginning of the cycle and would draft Castiles every time because he has like 15 heading or something.
Nice.
Wow. I wish I'd used it instead of Donnarumma when I was testing that. I mean, Donnarumma's got 51 goals, but like...
So, Alice just went for De Vrij. Or De Vrij. I've lost my footing there. I'll come back to it. But Stefan De Vrij, is that going to make up the hole that Mings and Smalling are going to leave? 50
He's
million?
a really good ball player on the right. Like,
yeah. And I think Holly has just picked up Nathan Ake.
I'm not too sure about the Ake pick. I'm not sure at all. Now, if this is Holly's second pick,
Ake.
And she,
This is a
she's
great
looking at Denzel Dumfries, to players obviously junior to Jordan Williams.
Denzel Dumfries is the best right back in the pool. I'd say that
This
was
is the
full
pick
chest.
where and she's listening to you, right? This was the criticism of Yuri and Timber was that this guy was on the board. Now she's taking both of them.
Yeah,
So
copying my pose, copying my pick ideas.
So
Typical.
with Hood, he put up Gagliardini, so on the last round, and now he's in again. He's got 89 million left, and he's about to pick up Jason Denayer, should I say? He's not a denier. Good pick, 4.5 million.
Has to
Maybe
be that
lacks a
kind of
little
price.
bit.
Yeah, he's great. Look, Ali slagged off the Nathan Ake pick, but I actually really rate Ake in draft mode. Can do so many things. He's actually incredible as a DM and very good as a fullback. Center back might be Ake's worst position, but if you compare Ake to some of the other like stronger, more meaty DMs, Ake's attributes are phenomenal.
I think you could maybe get away with him more in a back three if he's playing on one of the wider roles, so he's not having to be quite so aerially present. Because he's good on the ball, and with a nice wing back next to him, I don't mind like a slightly shorter centre back on the outside if it's a back three.
Yeah, like Tierney too. Yeah. But like if you're counting on Ake as one of your center backs in a back two pairing, then I don't love the pick. But if it's on the it's on the left of a back three, or if it's as a fullback or a DM, Ake can actually is much better than people realize. But I play players outside of their like FM position all the time, so I don't know if Holly's looking to do the same with Ake.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, I suppose.
Might need a search on this one. Viganto. Viganto.
I believe plays for Bologna in Italy and is like a young FM wonder kid on like FM 20, plays like winger, plays AMC, and is just a good value for money, kind of like shadow striker, maybe advanced forward sort of player.
Vignato, should I say, not Viganto, Vignato. So
he's got great first touch, like a lot of flair to his game. Finishing's average, but you're not expecting too much out of him. He's not the quickest, but he's got decent acceleration. He's kind of well-rounded. Just don't ask him to mark or like track back.
Yeah, Vignotto will back up Havertz in that tactic, and I think do a pretty good job.
Yeah, so Biragi went for Tim Lewis, and that was Stinger. Galder heard the talk of oil and appeared because of the Norwegian gods calling him. So, and he's gone for Stefan Ortega. Still 160 million left there. Yeah.
I don't know if he'll be first team because he's very much around the 12 and 13 sort of mark for the majority of his stats, but attributes, apologies. Yeah, I think if in doubt, he might be a good option to throw on. We have Murph. He looks very cool in his tank top, I must say.
He's chosen the right approach.
Yeah.
He's showing a bit of skin, not too much like a bloody Stinger is.
This time.
Yeah, give it time. He's just picked up Benjamin Henriks, who was a fullback, right left, I think. So he's a bit of a versatile fullback. Onto Mozza, goes for Alex Murray immediately.
He loves a bit of Murray, doesn't he, Mozza?
Yep.
Always talking about how good he is. I've not seen it myself personally, but he seems to be opting for him more and more as FM22 is progressing.
Shifting over to JD. Tony just said the kids are asleep now, so do I want him to tag in? I'm okay for now, thank you though, Tony. You
I
think he asked that 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. JD's picked up Delict, 43 million. So that leaves him with 54 with 8 picks left. Guess he's kind of got his 11 there.
I think there's plenty of gems and small fee players to go through.
Yeah.
And I'd say like a lot of those players have slipped in this draft. We haven't seen very many of the like sub 2 million darlings be drafted very early, which kind of surprises me the way these pools worked out that didn't happen sooner. But there's a lot of value left. It's like Weindal's been taken, and then some of the 5 million players have been taken, but there haven't been a lot of the sub 1 million players taken yet.
Yeah, just having a look. He's got apparently David De Bruyne. I've never heard of him, according to our list. Might need to be changed that way. Yeah, no, exactly.
Davy Selke is a very fox in the box pick, isn't it?
Yeah,
I love Selke.
I was going to say the physicals on him are unreal, aren't they?
His finishing's only like 11 though, isn't it? Or am I thinking of Poulsen?
It's 12. It's not much better, but yeah.
Nah. I'll take that. I'll buy one.
Poulsen was really good
just
for
like
Breezy
those physicals
time,
off the bench.
Yeah. Obviously, we've got no Danish here anyway.
I've just seen Breezy just hover over Mustafi for a second, and I got very giddy. I was like, yes. You want to. But so it doesn't look like he's going down that route.
Breezy got 164 million, so maybe he's saving some money for the next pool.
Well, he's looking at some of the higher value goalkeepers that are available.
He's already got Kepa.
Centre backs.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Centre backs.
He's already not Kepa. He's got Donnarumma.
It's 30 degrees in my room. I'm prone to a couple of mistakes in the heat.
I was just thinking I should get up and turn my air conditioning down a little bit. It's getting a little hot here too.
We can disconnect you as well.
Please?
Yeah, I was going to say. Tony, are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready now, Tony?
It's me. Hoping I sweat more so I don't need the bathroom as much. And then you've...
It's all it's got a remote control and everything. I just reach over and grab it, take it down a couple degrees.
Cool,
He has gone for the centre back Bonucci, and I think we did see JD struggling to find a goalkeeper, a centre back in the previous pool when it swung around. So I think in terms of the centre back position, maybe we were looking a little slim across the board. Picking up Bonucci for somebody Bonucci's age, he's still quite good physically. So I don't think it's the worst pick. He's obviously quite tall. I don't think he's going to win many headers, but at 6'3", you can expect him to maybe grab a couple.
Wijnaldum's gone for McKinns. Still got about 100 million left. Where
It's
is
good backup, Wijnaldum.
Yeah. Lazari's gone for Limo. He's now down to 80.
I'm curious to see where McKinns is going to use Carrasco, because if we go by the tactic that he flashed up on screen, there are no wingers. So Carrasco as a shadow striker, I've not used him there before, but he also has Goncalves. So does that mean Goncalves is going to play central midfield in that? Or like as a Metzala, is Carrasco going to play Metzala? Like, I don't really know how he's going to use that player at the same time as Goncalves. So we'll see.
Limos picked up Raspadori, who was adored in the last draft. It's not a bad pick.
That's a
at all.
great pick.
There you go. That was the tactic. He's missing a centre midfielder on attack, apparently.
And he was using Carrasco as a shadow striker.
Yep. He's gone D'Ambrosio.
And maybe Goncalves is starting at striker and Wilson's on the bench. Like, that could be what it is too.
There's plenty of options. It's always good when you've got more than one.
I feel like the attacking roles, though, don't really get suspended ever. And so you want to have a high-profile sub, obviously, to come on and change the game. But you don't need that many offensive subs, I think, in draft mode.
I think it's a case of, see, what I don't like is when I've had one of my big attacking plays out with injury or suspension. If the gap's too big, then you're in a lot of danger, aren't you? I quite like to have an attacker who is capable of playing in the first team on the bench. A lot more compared to having like a centre back or a left back who I know I would never start, but they're not bad as the backup option. That's the difference for me, just because I think that quality going forward is a lot more important.
No, I think I'm just saying that you don't need more than the one or two, but you need like 3 or 4 defensive subs that could start if you needed them to. Whereas, like, I take my backup striker probably in like the 7th or 8th round usually. So I take them way before I finish drafting my defense. Like, I agree with you. I think backup striker is extremely important. But it's just how many of them do you need?
Yeah, Demerbe's just gone for Breezy. So that was one of your picks. Yeah, I was going to say that.
Pulled himself out of the mud with that. Like, I know he's had some trouble so far, but that I just love Demerbe. I don't know what it is about him. It's just the height, the set piece ability. He's like a tall Ward-Prowse. He's not as good, but he's very good. I love him.
Tall Ward-Prowse.
He's already got Ward-Prowse anyway, so he's got Ward-Prowse and tall Ward-Prowse as well.
He's got the Ward-Prowse brothers.
Yeah, Udokai's gone for Foxy, and Ogbonna, speaking of people at set pieces, has gone for JD as well. So Mozza is picking up David Clarkson. It's all right, I guess.
Mozza told me David Clarkson as the box-to-box option has been phenomenal in his testing. So I'm surprised he didn't take him earlier. He probably knew he wouldn't be on anybody's radars. So was allowed to take him a bit later. But he's got him now. I think we could potentially see Clarkson starting based on the conversation I've had.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen Matteo Pessina. Oh, we did.
Yeah, Hood picked him up. Yeah, Hood picked him up early on.
It's like, I know that Hood and both Hood and Stinger like Pessina.
Yeah, the Rips has just gone for Murph. So Murph's picked up a subkeeper. Which Max has gone for Stinger. It's Tim Lewis. If we're quick enough, he's got Nangolan on there. Well, there's a red card coming. He's definitely high up on the old Vinnie Jones index. Up to Alice. 85 million, so about 10 million a pick left. Anything she's missing? Anything she should be looking for? Stick?
I'd like to see. I mean, Romagnoli helps a lot with being that like fourth center back. So I do think she needs one more midfielder too behind Castrovilli and Mason Mount. So I'd like to see that. And also, she does not have a goalie yet. So
yeah, I was just about to say she needs one more goalkeeper at
Mm-hmm.
least.
I imagine goalie and midfield are kind of next on the shopping list.
I think was it Alice who last season took a remarkably long time trying to select a goalkeeper, or got to a point where we were like, Alice, you are picking one, aren't you? Sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's kind of on my advice too. I told her to wait on goalkeeper, and a couple of the Brazilian keepers that she liked went before she had a chance to grab them. So I was just sort of waiting to see who was left at the very end.
The stick effect.
I mean, I'm like Matt. I don't think goalkeepers are insanely important,
Nah,
and
I agree.
there's not a ton of value to drafting the really expensive ones. Although Fabianski cost me the entire Super League, so
I blame the manager. the only goalkeeper I live and die by is Esteban Andrade. That's it. Anyone else, don't care. Esteban Andrade, picking him sixth.
Caprari's gone for Hood, and Molly is Molly Hayes, or Holly Plays. There we are. We're better. Holly Plays is about to go. Geordie Classy is being looked at now.
I mean, I'd be surprised with the speed of Classy. Doesn't make up for it with this passing ability.
Yeah.
Holly's in the mud here. There's 5 seconds to go. He's trying to type
yeah.
Berg. Oh no! Oh no! Ah, she's had a mare. Who did it pick? Who did it pick? We don't know because it was Malteser Falcon behind the scenes.
well,
Lavia,
Malteser can look, right? Malteser can do the drop down menu.
Yeah,
and see.
Lavia.
Romeo Lavia.
Yeah.
Unlucky, mate.
I mean, Levia's not that expensive, so
Yeah, imagine if it was a huge money pick. That could have
Yeah.
absolutely ruined the draft.
Yeah, exactly. Joshua Kimmich or Thomas Muller or someone like that.
I mean, she hasn't even looked at what Livia looks like yet, which is kind of
Yeah.
weird.
I guess she just wants
How do
to
we
pick
spell
and
his
get
name?
it done. Yeah.
Lavia.
Yeah, for 450K.
Oh, yeah, he's the guy that he's at Man City, but he's moved now.
She hadn't.
Yeah.
It hadn't messed up again, Mal. She just missed the pick, so she ended up with a default pick.
Board midfielder, sort of centre mid.
Yeah, we
I think
watched
she's
it
trying
happen.
to find
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
but she can't in the squad for some reason.
Let's see if the clip squad should be all over that moment too.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say. So Soriano's gone for Hood. So over to Alice. Still not looking at keepers. I guess she's got a full pool to go through yet. I thought so. Spanish, English, few keepers knocking around there, I guess.
Yeah, I'd definitely be looking at England when you got
Portuguese.
people like Sam Johnston, Nick Pope.
Yeah, Portuguese.
She does need. I feel like Holly does need a difference maker in the middle of the field right now because she's got Weigl and Rice, but someone that has a little bit more like attacking to their game is something that she's kind of lacking here in the midfield so far. So, I guess. Oh, we know she has Asensio, so I don't know what her plan is for Asensio.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's got
That could be
Bergwijn,
the answer.
Asensio, and Haji, so I guess you got 3 there, but it's where they play them. Klosterman went for Alice. Tim's just picked up Divock Origi. What a hero. Stinger's put his t-shirt on, and he stood up and he's wearing shorts as well. And he's also left. I'm guessing he's done his pick, yeah. He picked up Caputo, so there we are.
Devastated.
I like the Klosterman pick too. That's like the either-sided fullback, kind of really great for your bench sort of player for Alice too.
And even a centre back as well for Klosterman. He's
Yeah,
got a bit
for sure.
got a bit of height on him. I remember when he was
He'll
a
be center
wonder
back
kid.
number 5 though. She already picked up Romagnoli to kind of be center back 3/4. So
Hedrick's gone for Murph. There's got Hedricks and Hendricks. So, a couple of Ricks there. No Rick Carstop though. That went to JD.
Unfortunately.
Tony Jameson, you're in the chat. Kevin Lasagna's just been drafted. Go for it. Tell your 4 jokes quickly. Right. Moz has picked up there. Back to JD. Where are we?
I'm sure Tony's very happy to hear that, Kev.
Yep. I know. Van Zier. Yeboah. He is scraping around. He's got 39 million left, so he is going to be down the bottom.
I don't think it's a bad position to be in, though.
No.
At this point, this late on, if you've got your first 11 sorted, I think there's more than enough for that amount to spread about.
2 out of 10 for that joke, Tony. Why does it always fall to Don Mio to make the pasta gags? Yeah. Maybe ban him from the chat.
Yeah, that
Andonis,
Domio one was a bit too bad.
Yeah. Andoni's gone for JD. Over to Foxy. Foxy very quick with... Can't actually see. Drommel?
Joel Drommel, yeah.
Yep, Joel Drommel.
Probably Yoel. Oh, looking at Stenger hovering over someone, I'm getting quite excited about that. We'll see. We'll see what happens when it goes back to his turn.
What are you on about? Breezy hovering over John Luigi Buffon. Right. Breezy's still got 89 million left, and Donk has just gone for him now at 13 million. Bit of versatility, I guess, from defensive midfield.
Even at a centre back as well with his height, he's quite good defensively. He just can't do much else, unfortunately. Hence his lower price, but I think it's a good bench option.
Yeah, McKinn's on 98. He's at the high end at the minute.
Stinger's just in a league of his own when it comes to how much money you've got left.
I mean, he has to recognize that hasn't been working, right? He's like missing out on. It's hard to know where to save money because you don't know who of the big money is going to be left. It just sort of handcuffs you. I don't rate it.
I respect the persistence, but calm down in it. It's clearly not worked the past couple of times. Really did not work in the last playoffs. It was one of the poorest showings we've seen. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be different this time when there's been the draft pool split the way that it has been. But again, we had the same sort of running last time out, and it didn't really work then, did it? Oh, go on, Dali Blind. Oh, that pick makes me so happy.
Well, hold on here because he's got Rudiger in central midfield.
I think he just switched tactics, so it's moved people around. And he hasn't noticed it yet. Maybe it's something we don't know. Limo. Limo's picked up.
Who's he gone for? Torunariga.
Yep.
That's what I'm going for.
I'm glad you said it. I looked at
Torunariga. It's Jordan Torunariga, and Torunariga is incredible. I love him. His mentals let him down a tiny bit for a starter, but his physicals and technicals are very good. He's like a German Tyrone Mings. Let's put it that way.
As we are hydrating effectively, Matt is just very quickly leaving from a bath comfort break.
Very, very good hydrating that lad.
Yeah, Vanku has gone. So over to McKinn's. He's looking at Pavoletti. So is this the last pick of this pool, isn't it? Yeah, as we're going along.
Yeah, it's looking that way. Yep.
Yep.
It doesn't. This is the last chance to take Ronaldo Diakonu too. So we'll see if anybody wants my bargain 500k midfielder.
I hope not, because then you don't get a clean sweep.
Yeah. I know. That's
just
why
so-
I'm mentioning it again, to grease the wheels a little bit. You know,
I'm just so spiteful, Stick, and I don't know why.
There's not really any big, massive names gone during this, apart from a couple of centre backs, Delict and De Vries. Just looking through, I guess Leroy Sane for Stinger. It's not
But you
huge
kind of
think it's
names
expect
gone
that to
people-
some
wrong.
degree.
people are waiting for the big money English players too. Maybe like Phil Foden's still on the board, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Desciglio's
that's
gone
true.
for Mozza. Hello, McKinns. McKinns is waving. We're going to leave McKinns though now. Bye.
Yeah, get gone, mate.
Yeah, quick.
I don't like that McKinns guy.
Yeah, that in Infinity. We'll go over to Foxy.
I really liked McKinn's draft. I haven't loved the last couple picks, but I do like a lot of the players that he has.
That Desciglia pick, 16.5 million seems too much, to be honest.
Yeah,
He's all
He's not
right.
starting.
He's a little bit injury prone, but we'll see where we are. Coronel's
Sebastian
gone.
Bornau is a fantastic pick.
Foxy's having
Great
a
jump
very
in,
good
great
draft.
heading, really good bravery, which obviously helps with the heading as well. That's such a good pick.
is it Bornau who only has like 12 tackling, or is that Strike? I can't remember.
I think it's Strike.
Okay, I like them both, but Bornau too as well.
Foxy in the chat saying he knew he loved you, Ali. So at least someone does.
Hey, I love you too, Lee.
Stefan.
I'm gonna choose to ignore Jabaru's comments because my feelings won't get hurt that way.
Stefan Bell has gone for JD. Sounds like Matt's happy to be back.
I am. I was listening. I was just like, oh, you said about the hydration. I was too hydrated. I drank 2.5 liters of water while we were live, and I regret it. I mean, now
Don't
I
forget
feel
to hydrate.
fantastic.
Yeah, I drank my daily water intake in the space of an hour and a half. I think I'm going to die.
So Balabi's
My
gone
blood is
for
actually-
Mozza.
Bellarabi always goes under radar for me because I always think he's old now. He can't run, but he can at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
I
For
like
5
Bellarabi.
milli, not bad.
Oh, I feel like he was a lot more last year, and I definitely used him a few times then. And I think he's gone underlooked, like you say, because you think, oh, he's just old. What's he going to do? But as long as that natural fitness is still there for a little bit, you're fine. You don't need to have him for a whole season, just one little draft. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if it's a normal draft, which doesn't factor in the
Yeah.
development side. Maybe that's what people are hoping for when they draft the likes of Makoku. In the space of 2 weeks before my first game, he's going to become a world beater, lads.
He's won the gauntlet 3 times.
Lock him into the starting lineup for all those friendlies, you know, even if he's not going to start for you.
Just get him on double intensity training through all that.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Oh, jeez. Murph's taking his time. See, Murph is usually quite decisive when it's picks. I feel like usually he goes for it. He'll know what he's going to get, and he'll shoot. I think he's got a lot of experience with drafting in general, purely because of his drafting craft show, where he lets the guests choose the
Drafts and
stipulation,
crafts.
which forces him.
That's our show.
Draft
I said-
chats.
I said draft
chat.
chats. Maybe I'm getting my draft shows mixed up. But
Tony's
yeah,
fuming.
I'm sorry, Tony. I'm sorry.
He has his lawyers over for a copyright infringement.
Yeah,
already.
I'm no longer welcome to see Football Manager Therapy live on the 7th of November and at Nottingham Film Festival.
Nottingham
plug
Comedy
for him there.
Festival. Yeah, fine.
Oh, done it again.
£5 tickets. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going. Moz is going. Are you going, Jabberu?
I might be there.
You-
I live
Are
in
you-
Nottingham, so it's quite far for me to travel. Right, Boyata's gone for Tim Lewis, and I don't know if Stinger did pick up who was hovering over them. Let's have a look.
You made it sound like Boyata had picked him. I liked that. It was destiny.
Yeah.
there are
Right,
12
should
people
change.
currently drafting Trexler.
Stinger hovered over. Yeah, Sven Botman's gone for Stinger.
That's a great pick. Like seeing players like Stefan Bell go before Botman is kind of a head shaker, but Botman's very good.
I've forgotten about Botman.
I think Newcastle did as well. Right. Max Arnold has gone for thingy. But, I mean, Dan Burn, he might keep him out. Who knows? Max Cruz has gone for Hood. And we're over to Holly, who's got the double pick and obviously the first pick of the next side of the pool. We have 152 million left as well. So,
Wow.
is she going to go big when we come the other
The
side?
players she's got currently up are looking quite cheap.
Is she going to try to go big and then click on the wrong person? That's the real drama here.
Yeah.
Jordan Williams again.
He's looking at 2 Sterlings, and one of them is a lot better than the other.
Yeah. we're a little bit behind on Holly's stream, so no spoilers, please, until it comes up on the stream.
I'm sorry. I think I have.
Nope, Bardi's first pick, and now, yep, Raheem Sterling coming up as a second.
It's big money, but she's got it left.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
56 million, so that's a third of it. She's still got 100 million, so
Oh,
yeah, 100 million, 5 picks. It's a lot more than anyone else.
she drafts a bit like what I do. I tend to like start big, tail off in the middle, and then with way too much money at the end, and end up getting someone massive in like the 20th round. But then you're obviously limited for choice.
Yeah. It's a risky play, isn't it? And I think that
Yeah.
for me, when it comes to the draft, that's the most interesting thing. Like, because everyone has a difference. Like we've seen so many people try and spread the money. You got people like Stick who spend hard in the first instance. You got people like RDF Tactics. His technique, a lot of people have adopted, is get the gems first, and then round 7 or 8, bang, you're getting your 80, 70, 90 million pound players. And at that point, and it's when you add a stipulation like this, where there's 2 different pools to choose from, forces you to be a little bit cleverer. And I'm glad I'm not drafting, because I am not clever enough to know what to do in this situation. But from a
I'd have blown
spectator
300
point of
million on
view,
the
it's
first
fun.
5 rounds.
Yeah, it's all
I think
piss.
you kind of have to combo those in this kind of draft pool. If you want to wait to save your money, you should almost think of it as it's 4 different drafts,
Yeah.
right? Like spend early, like don't spend early, like a couple cheap picks, and then in round 4 or 5 of this mini pool, then go big. Don't like wait to the last 5 picks to go big. Go big in the last 1 or 2 picks of each section. I think that would be a much better balance to the squad, which is something that Stinger probably should think about.
I think everyone has a plan when they come into it, but then once they start picking, they'll have a guy in mind, and then they lose. It literally takes, I think for me, it's like you lose one player that you wanted, and you don't have an immediate guy to back him up straight away, and all of a sudden you're moving down your list, and you've picked someone that's maybe slightly wrong, and then it kind of just throws the whole thing out of kilter, and it's difficult to get back on track, I think, once you go off of your draft plan. That's what always throws me. Maybe I'm just scatterbrain.
Yeah, Jordan Pickford's FM Girls keeper pick so far. I'm not sure about that one. He's got the shot stopping, but I'm not sure where that one goes. Tavernier's gone for Tim Lewis, who I think is a great backup right back.
I
Even
will
in
say
later times.
she loves a sweeper keeper on attack, and Pickford's one of the players in this player pool that can do that effectively. She would have preferred Ramsdale to still be there on the board right now, but if Ramsdale's gone and you need that like mid 20 million keeper that can distribute and stop shots, Pickford's better than you realize on FM.
Speaking of, I won't say controversial picks, but Marcus Rashford's gone. The Stinger, I think obviously the pace and the wing and stuff like that, sometimes the finishing just lets him down. A very common pick, but it's a big chunky pick. Is that going to be a difference maker for Stinger? Him and Sane and Rashford on the wings looking at?
I mean, Rashford was really good on FM21 in draft mode, so I haven't seen him pop up as much on 22, but I mean, probably still dangerous with the pace, especially if he's coming off the bench. Like, that's kind of absurd pace to be bringing in off the bench.
We're not sure where... Oh, he's back. There he is. I was just about to say, not sure where Ali's gone, but there he is.
I never left. No,
Okay.
literally, I'm not too sure what happened. I'm looking at my internet, and it says no access. So I don't know how I'm here, but I am.
Nah.
Okay.
Instead of
By the
upgrading
grace
to
of
some
God, baby.
access.
So Moz has just spent big on John Stones, which leaves him with 16 million or 18 million left for 4 picks. Oh
That's a
God,
good
here we
20
go.
million
This is why the skin's awful. This is
Oh,
why the skin is so bad.
Oh my God.
It looks different to the last time I saw him.
So Oliver Skin, oh, yeah.
What's his tackling like?
Oliver Skip.
I
There we
actually
go.
don't know.
4 million.
I can't
So
tell
my
because
eyes are
it's
still recovering.
blinding. I might
The
put my
next-
The
purple
next time a
shades on.
player comes up, we all have to just like overreact to the brightness for the clip. You know, we got to set this one up for the Clippers.
I got these at hand now. The purple shades. So you know, we're covered.
Watch out. Foxy's looking at Rafael Guerrero. Ollie Watkins was picked up by Murph in the middle of all that as well. A few pricier players going. Yeah, Rafael Guerrero's gone for Foxy.
I noticed, was Canales still there?
Yeah, I think so.
Moss has got his spreadsheet up on the screen if anybody fancies a cheeky gander. If any of you competitors are listening.
I think players like Canales and like Odegaard, obviously not in this draft pool, but have gotten hurt by the 3 striker meta. Like there's a few less like attacking midfielders running around. And so those like Phil Foden, Canales, Odegaard, like some of those players are not getting picked in most drafts because of it.
Yeah, I suppose if you're using 3 strikers, it's very unlikely you've got some advanced playmaker directly in behind them, I guess.
Unless you're Clates, I guess.
Yeah. And then you've got 3 of them.
Yes. Breezy's just picked up Jared Bowen, so he's carrying on his West Ham meta. He's going to end with Mark Noble, isn't he? It's going to happen. Jordan Henderson has just gone for McKinns. That's half his budget, so 32 million left. Is that the other central midfielder that was missing, or is he going to?
I like
is he
that
going to
pick.
carry? Yeah, is he going to carry on with Rudiger there? Who knows?
Henderson is expensive, but he's good.
Yeah, if you can keep him fit, he's brilliant.
Simple.
Yeah, it's just that simple one.
I wonder
Gabby's
if he
gone-
has another one lined up too, because he has got Gravenberg right now kind of like locked in at CM. I'm not sure he's ready to win him a trophy yet either, so we might have another CM pick in him.
Yeah,
There you go, he's
Gravenberg's
got his
another one of those
tactic up
players that
again.
if it was like 2 years later in it, but yeah.
There you go.
Oh yeah, I can see McKinn's tactic.
Yeah.
Oh, he's losing, isn't he?
Oh, narrow systems like that always work. Against me.
What's in the mug, Matt?
Bit of iced coffee.
Oh, let's go.
Decaf, obviously. It's 10
Yeah, I
at
was
night.
gonna say,
I'm not a
yeah, I
madman.
was gonna say.
I would have had immeasurable respect if it was fully caffeinated.
Yeah.
Nope, I haven't had caffeine in 8 months.
Nice.
Oh, are you okay?
I sleep now, I guess. So does that.
Yeah, true. So Rosas and Gavi went for Limo. Very much budget picks. Gavi's another one for future, but Esri Konsa's about to go for McKinns, although he's biting his nails about it. Yep, there you go. It's gone. Over to Breezy.
I don't love the Rosas pick. Like Rosas is almost 7 million and is pretty below average backup right back. So the Rosas pick is a little bit shaky.
I was going to say, what's he already got at right back?
It's just like one of those offensively minded right backs that also is slow. So when he gets up the pitch, like you better have somebody covering that position because he's not catching up. And if he does, he's going to get a red card.
It's like a stranded mountain climber. He'll get up the mountain, but good luck getting back down.
Yeah, exactly. And like I've been saying that a lot tonight. Like I really dislike fullbacks that fit that profile. So Rosas is one that would be predictable for me to kind of shout out.
I feel like I go for those a lot, and this might explain a lot about me. You're teaching me along the way, Sticks.
Stick is the best teacher.
Cheers.
There's that Shakir, by the way,
Yeah,
on the screen right
Shakir's
now.
gone. Yeah, he's gone. 20 million.
Fox in the
40
box is
million.
winning this whole thing. He's picked some bloody good ones, you know.
He's had a quietly pretty good draft. Like we haven't talked about it a lot,
Sorry, just to
I know what he's
interrupt.
having at.
Andy Carroll's just gone.
Oh,
Is that
it's
a
even
full
worse
house
in
for
that
you?
skin.
Yeah, it's
And
a
to
full
JD,
house.
not to Breezy.
It's a
I
full
think
house
it might be a full house.
for
JD
Mr.
FM's
Ali.
going to win. I'm sorry, Foxy. I'm retracting the statement I made literally 5 seconds ago.
These fair weather fans, Foxy, can't.
Next draft, I'm putting Carroll on my dud list, so he's going to be my fraud, just so that we can
Yep,
get the full house at the same time.
And you'll be removed
Yeah,
from
well.
the Discord, and then you'll also be removed from the call.
You'll be
And then
wrong,
blocked
mate.
by
That's,
everybody. Yeah.
Nick Harrell emotes in
Soriano.
the chat.
Is Breezy
Soriano's
fuming? Hey, I made
Uh,
you that emote, Allie. Come on.
gone. Yeah, worth having a look. To Murph. Murph's got 72 million, so he's saved a bit over the last few picks because he was quite low.
So they got 3 left. Spend a bit, lad. Have a go. Have a crack.
Live a
He
little.
saved a,
Do something. For God's sake.
Spend it. Yeah, spend it now. Find the bargain later.
You just don't want to have too much. You don't want to get stuck at the end having not spent money when you could have done.
Yeah.
I suppose you don't want to be that person that's at the end and you've got £6 million left, and you're like, you have to buy a player that's around that, but you might not actually get someone good, and you feel. I hate that.
And you're not spending it. It's like, I could have bought Ronaldo. It's like, piss. Well, what did I offer done?
Well, and then he goes and splits the difference, right? He doesn't. He takes a £9 million player instead of a 30 million or a 1 million player, which is kind of weird.
Because it's
Elara
just gambling on
Mendy's
there
just
being
gone
someone
for
there
Murph.
at the end.
Stinger's just picked up Sergio Ramos for £50 million.
Wow.
That is a bold.
He took
That
Yeah.
screams to me, I got money. I don't
Yeah.
know what to do.
Well, to be fair, he doesn't really have he has Jonathan Tah and then Inacio. So
Inacio
I
Ebola.
think he's good and he has Botman, but Ramos is gonna start alongside Jonathan Tah, left footer
I
and
like
right
Tah, but
footer.
the heading.
Yeah.
It's the weakest part of his game, but he is very tall.
Tah is one of those players that's really good on the left side of a back three too.
But at least he has
He's
a bit of
actually
jumping reach to
pretty
go with it.
decent. Yeah,
Was he 17 jumping reach, I think?
yeah, and he's pretty good on the ball.
Lovely.
Tanganga's gone for Tim Lewis. Nico for FM Girl. Over to Hood. He's about to
See,
pick up.
we're saying what we're saying. Holly's still got 96 million left.
Yep.
But who's
She's looking
available left? Who's left?
She's looking
The
for
Lord
Justin.
only
I think
knows.
she's looking. I don't know who she's looking for actually. Who's Justin?
James Justin, the Leicester fullback.
Yeah,
It's
maybe.
clearly Justin Amaluza.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That sounds like a fake name.
Justin, I'm a loser.
I'm
so-
a loser. You sign your mate up to spam using it.
Yeah.
I think Justin costs more than her cost filter. Yeah, exactly. There we go.
Why that? What? You got 79 million left. Now 3 picks remaining. Why have you got a cost filter?
Vitinha next.
Pick someone massive at the end.
Is it the right Vitinha? Obviously, there's 2 of them just to confuse things. Yeah, no, it is, isn't it? It's like
She's
the
not picked
Dodo,
one
isn't
yet.
it? Yeah.
Also, doesn't she have Dumfries already?
Yeah, Dumfries and Timber.
And is taking James Justin.
James
here?
Justin
Does
can
she
play
see
left
Justin
back.
as a
You can play on the
yeah.
left.
That's what I was
James
gonna say.
Justin
Does she
can
see him
play
as a left back?
Yeah.
I don't like the right-footed wing backs on the left though.
Vitinha's gone then.
Even if they
for
say they've got an
Holland.
okay left foot, they never use it.
Yep.
Inverted wing back? Question mark.
Not for me.
I still think when you play inverted wing backs, you have to play left on the left and right on the right. The midfield press just steals the ball away from those inverted wing backs right in the middle of the field. Then when the ball's on the inside foot like that,
That makes
bad
a
news
lot
bears.
of sense. Because I used to do this on my save last year. I would use an inverted wing back on the right, but it was still a right-footed player, and he just seemed to perform way better when he was sort of just doing the same thing as a wing back, but just sat much narrower and in field and making those runs. It was so good.
I love the IWBs are just like DLPs essentially, like wide defensive playmakers essentially. I love them.
I hate talking about FM to stick because it makes me realize how absolutely god awful I am at the game.
Telling me, I'm absolutely schooled That was
you-
me thinking I was average. I am way below
You,
average.
you do this full time as well. Like, let's
yeah.
not forget.
I'm good at it.
I have no idea how I've swindled this, but
I just play 4-2-4. It's fine.
career.
Yeah, exactly. I still like doing
I
used to
love that.
when you used to right click and you could put where you want your player to run to. That's all you need to do. Yeah, exactly.
There goes Yazuche. Yazuche there to Tim is a great pick.
fantastic pick. He is so good.
Is that Dennis? Oh no, different one.
Yusuf.
Yeah, also
Big
just
Yusuf Yazuche.
Dennis Uchiche is a regen, and I'm like, why is he picking
Yazuche,
my save?
Yazuche often mispronounced as Yazici.
Stinger and
I'm guilty of
Stinger and Nuri Madueke. Name a better combination. I think I've seen him pick him every single time he's available.
I think Stinger and getting knocked out in the group
Yeah.
stages probably.
I know.
I hope he's listening.
Right, on to Murph.
That the vision is what gets me on Madueke. That like 8 vision, I just don't understand. Like he's got so many other attributes that would say vision's going to be 12, 13, 14, and 8 just lets him down.
That's Murph's expenditure.
Down to 40 million.
Yeah, James Madison, he's been hovering over for the last few picks. On to Mozza with his... Oh, he's got 13 million. I thought he had about 13p at this stage, but...
Connor Cody.
Oh, yeah, Connor
Not bad
Cody's
for
gone.
4.5 million, yeah.
No.
And if you just
Oh,
want
here we
someone
go.
big, Dan Burns right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had Dunburn in my last draft and he was rather good.
Mateus Nunes has just gone for JD. That's quite a late pick for 24 million.
Mm.
Quite a big one.
Again, I feel like a lot of these I got money, I don't know what to do, I'm just gonna throw it.
JD
I read
gives him-
Breezy
gives him
having
an-
415 million then, not 41.5, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
He's pulled some levers.
I thought Foxy was going to go for a Naki Williams then. I thought that is...
It looks like
classic
Foxy is just drafting toward. Was he just looking at specifically over a certain height players then? Because I think he is trying to draft a genuinely just tall team on average. It's an interesting strategy.
Adrian Zola being the one he's gone for.
Yeah, he's got
Quite
a
good
6
for the
foot height
price.
to him. He's like a Tinder girl.
Like if
Breezy's
you're
up
under
next.
6, get in the bin.
Jose Sar's gone for Breezy. Over to McKinn's. 28 million. He's on his list.
Oh, because he's showing his notes on stream.
Oh, there you go.
Well, no, now you don't need to see what I can see.
I'm
Yep.
going to plagiarize.
That's literally the exact thing he sent me. Now he's changed it to pretend that he meant that. I wanted him all along.
Well, he didn't get Tammy or Calvert Lewin, right? Neither of them fell to him.
I suspect that's
Yeah.
because he got Lukaku first. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe Tammy and DCL were sort of like, if I don't get Lukaku, I can come
Oh,
in.
well,
and-
they were not there though. When he picked, they were already gone.
yeah.
John McGinn has gone. And all the Scottish fans rejoice.
Moz is
John
fuming.
McGinn. Yeah, John McGinn is massive arse.
Tells a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's
He's-
low
he's
centre of
got
gravity. Very, very
Yeah,
Raheem
but-
Sterling. Yes.
he do be getting the wagon.
I had him in my. I've got him in my Twitch save, and he left Bournemouth to move to Monterrey of all places. It's like John McGinn in Mexico. I just want to see that series. Like,
Just so sunburned.
We're getting a note too as a reminder that we don't think McKinn's has a goalie yet. By the way, 2 games left.
oh yeah.
I hope
Spent-
not.
And he's just spent 20 million on John McGinn, and I think he only had about 28 left.
How much is it? Ooh.
Marcus Edwards has gone first.
Marcus Edwards is good. I've never had a chance to use him, but I've seen other people use him successfully.
Currently, he's hovering over Caldalo, so it's not looking good for the chap.
Will Limo's playing FM 10 to 12 because he's just drafted Will Hughes. It was brilliant.
It'll be great
Around
when
that
he,
time.
when he ages into himself a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can't believe he's 26 years old now.
I thought he was older, genuinely.
Yeah.
Surely you're 35, lad.
19. Yeah, he's one of those players that doesn't age. They're always a young prospect, like Sean Wright
There you go.
Phillips.
Goalkeeper Pacheco gone, done. Tick.
It's cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap. I don't know if he'll do the job, but you know.
There's cheaper than there's cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there is a difference between a cheap and a bargain.
Yeah, there's a Kepa and there's
Pacheco.
Yeah. Salty said it's no Jed Steer, but yes, we all know how good Jed Steer. He had to play Jed Steer, didn't he? Actually, because his other keeper got injured. Shows the importance of
love Jed
subkeepers.
Come on, Breezy. You know you want to do it, lad.
Pacheco's not that bad. Pacheco's just not very tall. That's the problem. So it depends what you want your goalie to do. Really good at distribution. So
I think Breezy's in that conundrum. Is like, who can have signed and then sign Mark Noble immediately afterwards? So that's where the pain is on his face. Yeah.
You saw him hovering over Scott McTominay. It's like, well, forget him. I can't get Noble.
Yeah. Where's Noble going to play? Exactly.
I want
he's got
JDFM to
McTominay.
take Noble so bad.
Yeah.
Sauce. Oh, yeah, the shithousery. Fox in the box, you got 37 million. You can do it.
Oh, no.
Because
no.
JD already took Carroll, right? So just take Mark
Yeah.
Noble too and just create that rivalry.
I'm glad Breezy hasn't got Carroll because
Why-
made me very angry
yeah.
last time he did that in the playoffs.
Why is Foxy looking at Traore? Just look at all those red stats. I know all the nice green stats on the right hand side are
Think
good,
of
but
the
look at all
baby
the
oil.
yeah.
Think of the Daniel James discussion that we had earlier, though, right?
Yeah.
Like he's going to get into a good position 20 times. Can he make a pass 3 times? Maybe.
Perhaps. Honestly,
Yeah,
that
that front line is not the best, is it? Skamaka.
Skamaka, I like. And I feel like Foxy's going to play Harry Kane deeper, like Stick said. I think if anyone's going to, it's him.
And Leao is a striker too. Like, Leao's pretty good. So he's
I
listed
think
as a midfielder, but
Leo goes below radar when it comes to his striking abilities.
yep. Because he has 13 finishing, so people kind of assume he's not very good. But I think finishing is like the least important striker attribute.
Yeah.
So
There was
You
a
want to
hydrate
throw,
in the
yeah.
trap, please, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, I'm out to drink. so.
I'm all out of water. My lips are getting increasingly chapped.
Yep.
You can have some of mine. I'm trying to drink a bit less water at the moment.
Okay.
I don't know if we have the facilities to get that over here in time.
Technology is a wonderful thing. I'll DM you some.
Back to JD. So Traore did go for Foxy, which leaves him with pennies. Bruma's about to go for JD. Over to Mozza. He's still got 13 million left.
Just hope. Breezy's got Noble locked and loaded. I pray someone does it to him so he knows how it bloody feels.
There's only beer left in that fridge. I'm not having one just yet. Right.
is it Ryan Gold's on the board? How is he looking at Harry Winks when Ryan Gold's available? Well, this is not the Mazza I know.
I think this will be Mozza's. That'll be Mozza's last pick. Yeah, he's going for Aaron Hickey.
Yeah, Aaron
Yeah,
Hickey.
there you go. There's a Scotsman gone. Over to Murph. I mean, Murph, to be fair to Murph is running off two hours sleep or something like that. There's a quick power nap in between his job and then he's back to work later. So,
Committed. What a lad.
Andre Silva's gone for him.
Yeah, he just wanted to spend, didn't he? I don't think Silver's a bad pick, to be fair.
If you've got the cash at this stage, why not, I guess.
33 million for Stinger. Looking at Thiago, he's gone for Thiago. It's quite a Spanish midfield he's got. Olmo, Thiago,
Luis Alberto.
Luis Alberto, yeah.
His midfield can pass, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's like he thinks it's FIFA, and he's going for that. What's the rating that you have to have for FIFA? I don't play FIFA, but there's like some percentage thing.
Oh,
right?
like the chemistry rating or something.
Yeah, chemistry rating. That's what he's going for.
I think they're getting rid of that for FIFA 23, you know?
Really?
That's what I hear.
I won't be buying that either.
Well, they're waiting until it's free on Game Pass, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's what I did this year.
I don't think I've played FIFA since like 2014 on the GameCube. So
on the GameCube.
Oh,
I like that.
FIFA 2014 was on the GameCube.
Yeah, they released it. I
horrendous.
think they released it to like 2017. There was like the Legacy Edition.
yep.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was basically the same game every year, but they just changed the squads, and you had to pay full price for it because Nintendo.
Yeah, classic.
Yep. Tim Lewis picked up Ben Foster.
Not bad. Throw him over Pacheco.
Yeah.
They
Who's
need to
left in
block
the?
Paul.
I was going to say, who's left in the draft for Alice to pick up as a meme pick? Is there going to be one? Mark
I pray
Noble.
there is. Please, Alice, Mark Noble.
How much is he? He can't be that much.
I think he's around the 5 mil mark, 4.5 mil.
Really?
She took Nico already as kind of like a backup midfielder. So I don't know that that's what she needs.
Nah. She's always going for some old guy you think's retired.
Is Charisma still around?
He feels like he probably. Yeah, he is. Isn't he?
Yeah. Didn't he
Charisma's
get
a winger though. She doesn't.
He
play
got
this.
he got announced on a horse, didn't he? I remember last year. Yeah, he was like a horse riding from a castle, and he came riding down. It was one of the stupid announcement videos that are absolutely
that.
brilliant, obviously. But, yeah.
They've almost eaten themselves. They've become so absurd. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nothing
my
rather
favorite.
be
I
the
think my
Besiktas
favorite one
ones.
my favorite one this summer has been Burnley, where they announced. I forget what the guy's name was, but he's far too posh to be in Burnley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Twine, is it?
might have been. Yeah,
Is
it's
it
like,
Scott's line?
oh,
No.
oh, yeah, it might have been. Yeah, up the clarets. I was like, oh no, can't say that around Burnley, right?
She took Pablo Mari, by the way, which she didn't actually need a midfielder. I missed the Maxi Arnold pick. So Pablo
Yep.
Mari is the last outfield player. I think she's going to pick a goalie next.
Yeah, Brandon Williams just went for Hood,
Oh,
versatile
Oh, he's
left
on
back,
Brandon Williams.
but he got sent off after 4 minutes in the last path to the playoffs in his first outing. Iago Aspas being looked
do
at
it,
by
Holly.
Holly.
He's so good. I love him in
Yeah,
draft. I did
there you
last
go.
year, especially. I haven't really used him this year. He's underrated. He has really good attributes considering his age. I just really like him all round.
And there we go. Holly's last pick. She has 25 million left.
Oh,
What does she
there we go.
need?
she needs a villain, by the look of it.
Callum Chambers.
Leaving this with 15 million left.
Brave.
Brave. Yeah, I rate it, though.
It's a power move. I don't need these players.
I don't need your charity,
Is
buckaroo.
Holly finished. Craig Gordon. Has that just gone for Hood? I'm guessing so.
Oh, he has tremendous aerial reach.
Can't pass and can't run, but he's pretty good at
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
Very good at everything else, actually.
And he's passing and running. He can walk to the goal.
Alan McGregor being looked at. He's just basically looking at cheap keepers as a backup.
Go for the Scottish ones just to make Mozza a little bit annoyed, because that could be his plan too. I rate it.
Music and quality.
Come on, it's the last pick, Hood. You don't need to take this long.
And it's
Sorry.
Craig Gordon easy. I don't know why he's still looking. Like,
It
Easy,
can't be
Craig
that
Gordon.
important.
I'm going to skip to Alice because Alice's pick might be a little bit more interesting. Sorry, Red.
Yeah.
Just
Craig
because.
Gordon, just
Oh,
like-
she's been boring and looking at backup keepers as well. Oh, come on.
I'm disappointed.
Want some fun?
Someone's on a libero or something. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. Libero or somebody who's 45 years old. Just like,
Yes. Now you're speaking my language.
yeah, exactly.
Lovely.
Craig Gordon. Yeah, Craig Gordon's gone for Hood. Alice. She's got 6 million left. Can you see if Charisma is in this draft pool? This Matt?
You will be. I hope somebody picked a nanny though. That's my that made me happy.
He's still in the game because he's playing for Victoria. Is it Victoria de Guimaraes?
I think so.
Yeah, 37-year-old. Whoa, his crossing and dribbling are insane still. He just has no pace.
Yep.
So, sorry, Tim Lewis has just picked up Paul Mullin. There you go. There's a faithful Wrexham fan for you. He's picked up his own full shirt.
Look how smug he looks after doing
Yeah,
that.
I know, exactly. He's very... yeah,
Disgraceful.
Stinger. David Soria. Over to Murph. He's got 17 million left, so he could pick up somebody of note here. Or just have a couple of drinks.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Key message.
It's important. Ceballos has gone. So there we are. Now over to Moza. 9 million left. Gold? Is it happening?
He has to pick Ryan Gold, doesn't he? I feel like if he doesn't, then Moz is basically let an entire nation down.
No pressure.
He's done that the last two times he's played in the playoffs, so it's fine.
Yeah. And then he's actually doing well in them, so maybe that's the one.
Andre Franco. Anybody? No?
He's quite versatile, isn't he? But I can't see him featuring much.
Jack Butland picked up by JDFM. Over to Foxy. Foxy's
Franco was
got 12.
surprisingly good, actually.
Yeah, Foxy's got 12 million left. Foxy's drinking Lucozade at 10:30 at night.
Foxy's a bloody maverick.
He's going to go for a marathon after this.
Yeah.
Just to cool down.
Just the wind resistance, keeping him cool.
Just to relax a little.
Joe Willock's gone. Somebody mentioned Santi Cazorla before, and he's on Breezy's screen.
Come on, Breezy. We know you're gonna pick bloody Noble because you're predictable. But come on, man.
There you go. He's done it.
He's
Mark
waiting
Noble's
until
gone.
there's just enough time to type
Yeah.
letters Noble.
Yeah, Mark Noble's gone. Everyone wave to McKinns. Might not appear. Probably not.
I was
Yeah,
about to
Victor
flip him
later,
off then,
yeah.
but then I realised we're live.
Yeah,
Then
closest.
I remembered.
And McKinn's
Yeah,
has
he's
4.5 million left. Yeah, maybe Callum McGregor picked up here, or Saria's already gone. So one keeper you might be relying on. Who else has got one keeper? Alice?
Breezy just has Jose Sa.
Yeah.
Love a bit of risk.
Oh no, he has Donnarumma. He has Donnarumma.
Oh.
yeah.
I just couldn't. The goalkeeper is off my sheet.
Why is he playing balloons? Just do you pick one?
If somebody follows or subscribes, I think that's what it is.
I can't see any alerts or anything like that saying somebody's
No.
followed him. So
He's just fallen on the wrong button.
He just wants us. He knows he's on screen, so he's like, "Let's make it look like I'm getting followers during the draft."
Alice, yeah. Yeah. Alice has raided
Change you
us.
wish to see.
Welcome in. Thank you. Somebody can do a shout out in the chat. That'd be great. Kid is taking his time to spend this 4.5 million.
he's doing it on purpose now. He knows what he's bloody doing.
You might as well just let it auto pick at this point.
Yeah. It's like, come on, man. I've got work in the morning, lad.
Shaughnessy with the raid as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shaughnessy.
Hey,
Welcome in.
my guy. Big Donny.
McKinn's. How's he just got
There we
longer?
go. There we go.
Yeah.
I did think that. How's he only?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Ruddy. Somebody gave him some extra time there because he suddenly had a boost in
Ruddy.
time. Yeah. John
It
Ruddy's
looked like
gone
his clock
too.
was ticking upwards at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw it
Finally,
go to 1 minute 24. I was like, that's not been 6 seconds.
yeah. Limo to finish us off. So to
Fetching
speak.
head stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yes, he's pulling it off.
Look at that fashionista.
Oh,
Indeed.
get him on the runway.
I mean, those are some decent late last pick strikers to be picking from, too.
The fact that he can afford Danny Ings, he's gone for Santi Mina.
I think the reason Holly had 50 million left is so she can afford Asensio. Because that was a pick.
Oh, that's very
So,
true, isn't it?
yeah.
Unlucky, mate.
So there we are. That is the last pick. So we will go straight into our squad review. And we will start with Holly Plays. So, Jerome Boateng, Weigl, Giannis, Hadji, Timber, Mertens, Calvert-Lewin, De Gea, Asensio, Rice, Reguilon, Ake, Dumfries, Lavia, Bergwijn, Bardi, Sterling, Justin, Vitinha, Aspas, and Callum Chambers. Ali, you were chatting to Holly before this. She's left it late with a lot of those picks by the looks of things. She didn't. First two picks were. I don't think anybody could have predicted those first two picks. Would be right.
Definitely not. And the Boateng first pick completely threw me off. I mean, we are set to have her come in for an interview, so I'm quite excited to quiz her on that sort of thing. But she did say to me behind the scenes that she's looking for old reliables, essentially, when it comes to the way she's drafting today. And I'm interested to know if she's got them. I think, the first picks maybe weren't up there, but when I see picks like Sterling, Dumfries, who I firmly believe is the best right back in this pool, Calvert-Lewin being in that as well, and De Gea, a player who she really seems to trust at the number one spot. This could be just the team that Holly sort of needs in order to get something out of the tournament. It's not a team that I'd necessarily pick, but again, she's won a showdown, so you can't really question it until you've seen it in action.
Thank you very much. So next on to Hood. He started with Immobile, followed it up with Bastoni, Politani, Barada, Pessina, Reece James, Mendes, Ben White, Sanchez, Patricio, Galligadani, Danea, Caprari, Soriano, Cruz, Nacho, Elistondo, Pino, Williams, and Craig Gordon. 3 keepers. Actually, Matt, just noticing there. And also 5 Italians to start off with.
Yeah, that is a lot of Italians, isn't it? It's one of those, like, you look at it, it doesn't have so many, like, big standout names. Obviously, Ciro Immobile and a few sort of the Premier League players, but it's not, it's more, I think it's one of those ones that's sort of mid-level, but I think it could still be very solid if he's picked towards his original draft strategy. And it looks to me like it's going to be a back 5 for him, but I think Steve plays that pretty much all the time anyway. And with Immobile, presumably in a front 2, I don't know who he'd put alongside of it, just because it's not in order of like position. But 3 goalkeepers is...
It's 2 goalkeepers. It was a mistake by our backroom team, that's all.
Yeah. It's good, but I'm not sure it's like elite level. Ciro Immobile, I've used him before and he's very hit and miss for me, but if he can get him firing, then maybe.
Lovely. Right. FM Girl. Started with Memphis Depay, Havertz, Makoko, Castrovilli, Saint-Just, Abraham, Tierney, Mings, Mount Smalling, De Vrij, Vignato, Romangoli, Klosterman, Arnold, Pickford, Nico, Richards, Mari, and Joel Robles to finish off. Stick, how are you feeling about Alice's draft?
There's a lot of picks here off my short list, so I obviously rate this draft pretty highly. The one place where it's a little bit questionable is that third center back. I like Mings a lot, especially for the value. I like De Vrij, but Smalling or Romagnoli as that third defender in the back 3 is where it could be a little bit iffy. But if you're talking about that being the only problem here, that's pretty good, right? Like Depay, Havertz, Abraham as that front 3 is very good. Castrovilli with Mason Mount in the midfield, Saint-Just, who I like, but a lot of people might not know, at right back, Kieran Tierney at left back. Like, this is a good, well-balanced team, and I think Alice has done really well with this draft.
Lovely stuff. And over to Tim Lewis. Started with Marouane Fellaini, and then Kirby, Emre Can, De Jong, Baku, Ronaldo, Fernandez, Angelino, Sayuncu, Rodrigo, Castiles, Baragi, Nangalan, Origi, Beata, Taverna, Tanganga, Yasiki, Ben Foster, and Paul Mullin. Aside from that alarming first pick, which I think we all know why he's picked it, because Giroud isn't available to do that job. What's your thoughts on that draft, Ali?
I think he's got a couple players in there, like De Jong, like Ronaldo, Fernandez a little bit, and maybe even Nainggolan in a category where you kind of have to play them in a specific position, in a specific role. If you're drafting for those specific positions and specific roles, amazing. You need De Jong as a target forward. You need Ronaldo as a poacher. For me, Bruno Fernandes needs to be an attacking midfielder, not an advanced playmaker. So, and then Fellaini's a little bit kind of subject to a single position. He's not going to be incredibly versatile. So, if he gets it right, it could be onto a potential. I don't think this is a winning squad. I think it could be enough to get him out of the group stages, though. But it's just that if what is the plan? I think the plan is going to be everything. The plan takes it from a squad that could finish for me maybe second or third, or completely bottom of the group.
On to Stinger, obviously Denmark 92 and all that. DeMarco, Zaniolo, Cataldi, Tar, Nemeka, Luis Alberto, Pedro Porro, Palina, Inacio, Olmo, Sane, Ortega, Max, Caputo, Botman, Marcus Rashford, Sergio Ramos, Madueke, Thiago, and Soria. Spent a lot of money late on, Matt. Ramos? Question mark?
A lot of money. I do wonder if, I mean, presumably if Ramos was part of the original plan, which I don't believe was the case. Singer told me that he was going to go try to get an elite centre-back really early doors. He wanted Mancini, but clearly was unable to get him at this point. But Jonathan Tah, I really do like Jonathan Tah. Just that slight lack of heading ability is sort of made up for the fact that he's just so very, very tall that, yeah, he might not direct the header perfectly every time, but he's probably going to win the header, which is sometimes more important. I love Joao Palhinha in the midfield, but that's probably just personal biases more than anything else. It's a lot of money to spend late on, but we did wonder at the time if it was maybe just a question of, with that money left and with Sergio Ramos still being, at the end of the day, Sergio Ramos, if that money's there, why not bring him in? Maybe you get the elite centre-back, just get him a lot later in the draft. And obviously with someone like Leroy Sané as well, he's going to provide chances. And Rashford as well. I mean, don't know if they play the same time together, but still, there's definitely goals there, and there's lots of creativity in the midfield too. So I actually think it's maybe a bit of an underrated draft in a way, but I think he could do quite well with that.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think it's might be Stinger's time. I'm not sure. I mean, if you can keep Ramos off red cards, he'll do all right. On to Murph. Locatelli, Coop Miners, Weghorst, Musiala, Petagna, Demaral, Laporte, Simon, Trippier, Rue, De Ketelaere, Henriks, Verips, Frederick, Forte, Ollie Watkins, Ilara Mendy, Madison, Silva, and Ceballos. Ilara Mendy, let's talk about him. No, Stick, let's talk through. Coop Minder was somebody that was pushed to you. Anybody else?
Yeah. I think that this squad is interesting because we didn't talk a lot about Murph during the draft, but very quietly, this is a very solid draft because he's got like a Demiral Laporte as that defensive pairing with Simon as the goalie. Like that's pretty strong. Trippier and Rui are really good fullbacks that can both defend and attack, especially Rui has the pace to really attack. Like he's got big meaty strikers too for the fullbacks to sort of like supply with Weghorst there. So it's quietly a very solid draft. I don't think it's like the best draft, but I think it's comfortably in the top third.
Brilliant. On to our next participant, and it is Mozza. He wanted some of the players. I don't know if he got them all. Mancini, Werner, Chiesa, Sule, Benteke, Silva, Bellingham, Lorente, Cancelo, Struijk, Meret, Davy Klaassen, Lasagna, Bellarabi, John Stones, Soriano, Cody, Hickey, Franco. He's reached the final last 2 times. Is this a squad that's going to do it, Ali?
If he reached the finals because he got the players that he wanted in specifically, then yes. He has a lot of players here, which he most definitely wanted. And a couple of them, I think, will be surprising starters. I think Klaassen will feature more than we expect. Christian Benteke is going to play every single game. At least that's going to be the plan. Maybe Fernando Llorente comes in if he isn't performing, but Benteke will start as a starter 100%. Mozza's main picks were Chiesa and what's his name? Bernardo Silva. Good old what's his name? He managed to get those two. Sule was high on his list. Benteke was someone who intrigued him. I think Timo Werner was his first pick, advanced forward. He has drafted exactly how we wanted, so there is absolutely no excuses for him if he doesn't win this, the bad boy, because this is exactly what for him would be the ideal position.
Lovely. And now up next is JDFM. Moise Kean, his first pick. Rick Karsdorp, then Goretzka, Windel, De Bruyne, Sancho, Torres. Kepa's breaking my graphic system. Gaia, Livramento, Volland, Delict, Ogbonna, Andone, Bell, Skip, Andy Carroll, Nunes, Bruma, and Jack Butland. Why is Andy Carroll so good, Matt? And all the rest of the team, to be fair.
You were asking the wrong person about that,
Yeah,
but I must say, I do quite like a lot of these picks. There's some of the players that I would have picked up if I was in his position. Now, that might be a bad thing, but still, there's so many players in here that I just love. I love Jose Gaia. He's one of my favorite wingbacks that I've used in FM. He's one of my go-to picks if I can get him. So he's guaranteed, or not guaranteed, but he's likely to cause all sorts of trouble. I love Wijndal as a backup as well. He's just so cheap. You gain so much back elsewhere in the squad by having Wijndal in there because you can invest that money more wisely. The De Bruyne pick, I'm not entirely sure on just because of the sheer price, given the amount of budget in the draft, and maybe there were slightly better, not better, but players that were better value that maybe would have done the same job. But I suppose if you've got the money and you can afford to make that happen, then why the hell not at that point? Ferran Torres, great pickup because of the price. I do wonder if a few elements of Moise Kean will be decent, I suppose, too. Relatively good price, quick. I don't know. It's got players I like in it, but I don't know if it's quite got the roundedness to maybe go the whole way. But Kepa as well, another one of the players I would have really liked to have picked. So there's some good budget picks in there, but I wonder if there's almost too many.
That's it. Yeah, I think he's got a very strong midfield. It's just what he can do with the rest of it more than anything else. Anyway, on to Fox in the box. Virgil van Dijk, Skamaka, Tonali, Darun, Sensei, Harry Kane, Leao, Suarez, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Adarabioyo, Mounier, Selke, Udokai, Drommel, Bornau, Guerrero, Chakir, Odriozola, Adama Traore, and Joe Willock. It's a mixed bag, isn't it, Ali? No, stick, sorry.
Yeah, it is a bit of a mixed bag, but I do like a lot of the players. I think like Van Dijk can just win the set piece game by himself, which helps a lot. Martin de Roon under the radar is a very good DM who can jump out of the room as well. So he's got, like we talked about in the draft proper, a ton of jumpers. So does he score a bunch of set piece goals, and does he stop the other teams that are counting on set piece goals? If that's the case, then it can that is a good recipe to doing well in draft mode, like getting set piece goals and not conceding them. You could have a really bad tactic look really good if that's what you're going for. And so this team can definitely do that, and I really love Oxlade-Chamberlain despite being terrible for your graphic. I think that he's a really underrated box-to-box CM attack, like hybrid kind of player. Metzala, all of those roles he's got in the bag, so I think that gives him a lot of flexibility in the midfield as well offensively. So I think that this can do bits, but Fox has to show that he's learned from those recent draft failures before I really back him in this competition.
Brilliant. Yeah, and one person chatting about Darun is Breezy. Very gutted he didn't get some certain players. One of them being Darun, but his squad was Belotti, Donnarumma, Lorenzo Luca, Donnarumma, Raum, Hatibor, Ward-Prowse, Tomori, Vardy, Tony, Craig Dawson, Cristante, Benucci, Demabe, Dendonka, Desciglio, Jared Bowen, Ben Godfrey, Jose Sarr, McTominay, and of course, a sprinkling of Mark Noble. Ali?
I was concerned after the first 5. Belotti looked like a complete panic pick, in my opinion, when Lukaku had gone. I'd already explained why Luka wasn't a very good option in this draft, and then Brazy was like, actually, I disagree, and picked him. Donnarumma, I've seen him flop before, but generally he's all right. Rome, we weren't too sure about. Hateboer, for me, his 10 dribbling just doesn't do it. So after those first 5, I was like, ooh, mate, yeah, there's such a good performance in the Path to the Playoffs 1. This isn't going to go that way if it continues. And to be fair to him, he turned it around. James Ward-Prowse, fantastic. Tomori, probably one of the more underrated centre backs. You know what you get with Vardy, as we were talking about when Tony was picked. For some reason, he's really good despite being 14 everywhere. I'm a big fan of the McTominay pick. I think in FM, his defensive mindset is fantastic. And again, Demabe, as Matt was saying, is pretty darn good. I think there's a couple of other ones. I'm not too sure about Desciglio. Maybe Bonucci. I think there was a lack of options defensively there, but considering how he started, I think he really did turn around, and I think he could go far. It'll take a bit of magic to win it, I think, but I think he could definitely be at some point doing something.
Lovely. And apparently, according to the chat, 3 West Ham players won the World Cup. A team with 3 West Ham players will win this. That's a very bold first-time chat there from Declan Reese, but we'll see how we get on. Anyway, on to McKinn's next. Romelu Lukaku, to the disappointment of many people in the draft. Rudiger, Carrasco, Van der Beek, Malen, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Galan, Gomez, Goncalves, Callum Wilson, Gravenberch, Jorginho Wijnaldum, D'Ambrosio, Daley Blind, Pavoletti, Jordan Henderson, Konsa, John McGinn, Pacheco, and player number 20.
Which is John Ruddy. John Ruddy.
John Ruddy, there we are. John Ruddy's not been filled out there, but player number 20. As I was reading through that squad, that gets strong. It didn't get stronger and stronger. It's just a really well-rounded squad. Would you agree, Matt? Obviously, me being impartial,
it's
but,
really, really good. I like it. Sort of starts strong and kind of stays strong, and that's kind of what you want. I mean, from what I can tell, McKinn's got all of his first 3 picks that he wanted. Lukaku is obviously one of the players that everybody wanted. Rudiger's a great centre-back. Carrasco's just amazingly good. Then Van der Beek is the complete opposite in the sense that he's a good budget pick in that right little mould to get him nice and early. Marlon, again, is a decent price and will go nicely with Lukaku if he does want to play 2 up top. Alexander-Arnold, I know he can be hit and miss sometimes. I liked him last time I used him as well, and he does have some very good attributes. It's just a good... And Wilson as well. If anything, he could... probably wasn't expecting to be able to get someone like Callum Wilson that late, even at that point. And so to pick him up as well, I like Henderson as well as fantastic box-to-box midfielder. Ezri Konsa just gives good backup. Pacheco, maybe not fantastic. I think the goalkeeping, but again, I don't believe that goalkeepers, unless they're De Gea, need to be that good. And I think the real star of the show for him is going to be player 20.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to the backroom team. They do work very hard. I guess their fingers were getting tired by that stage. Right, on to the final squad. Limo, number 1 draft pick was Barella, to the surprise of a few people. Insigne, Philippe, Boadu, Adeyemi, Neves, Torres, Pau Torres, that is, Ramsdale, Robertson, Santos, Kluivert, Lazari, Raspadori, Torrenegia, Banchu, Gavi, Rosas, Edwards, Will Hughes, and Mina. Stick. What do we think? I don't think this is a typical Limo squad.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think striker is the one place where we're a little bit questioning the draft strategy. It's like Adeyemi and Boadu and Raspadori and like Santi Mina. Like those aren't exactly like your Limo type strikers, especially if we anticipate Insigne on the left wing, which I do. I think that he's got a lot of pace and his midfield is pretty strong. Defensively, also Luis Felipe and Pau Torres are very good. So everything is there for that 4-4-2 except maybe the strikers, and it could be that the strikers don't actually matter that much. If you're progressing the ball down the wings the way that 4-4-2 likes to, it doesn't matter who's in the middle to tap it home. If it's Raspadori, if it's Adeyemi, like it's hard to see who it will be, but like if he can find the goals and some strikers that get hot, this team has the rest of the goods to go far. Like I rate all of the squad except the strikers are a big question mark.
Great stuff. Now, as we're all here, I think Stick has to leave us, unfortunately, but I'm going to ask you now, who'd you pick to win it? I'm going to start with you, Stick, because you're leaving us first.
My pick to win it is, I'm going to say Alice. Like, I know that I've like assistant managed Alice for a while now, but her tactic is strong. There's not a lot of 5-backs. I think it's a little bit more difficult to play with than people realize. She has a good tweak to the 5-back against 3 strikers that's done well. She was, I think, robbed in the semifinals last time out, and her strategy hasn't changed. And I do think she has had one of the best 3 drafts. And so we talked about her early, but I still like keep looking back to that strike force of Depay, Abraham, and Havertz, and I don't know that there's a better one in the draft. It's very strong. So it's hard for me to look past Alice, and so maybe it's a little bit of a homer pick, but I do think Alice's team looks really good, and the strategy, I think, for the kind of metagame we're looking at right now is also really strong.
Ali?
If we were basing it purely off of teams, I would say McKinn's, but the key thing you have to remember is McKinn's is the manager. So they're definitely not going to win. I don't want to be boring, but I'm going to have to be boring because I genuinely think Alice has probably had the second best draft here. I know what Alice's system generally is, and her team seems to fit quite well into that. And Alice is getting better and better every time. Every season, she's going a step further. She should have been in the final last time. Moza, the absolute fraud, robbed her. So I'm backing FM Girl. Let's bloody go, Alice.
And Matt, are you going to complete a trio or?
I could, but I'm going to back McKinn's properly. I like the draft, and I think I'm going to throw my hat on that side. It's such a good... The start is so good, and it just stays strong. If he can sort out a tactical system that makes these players work to their best, I think he's got it. Whether he does that or not, I guess it's the same thing. But still, I don't know. I'm putting my faith in him. I think he's got this.
Fantastic. Right. Anyway, Stick, you have to leave us, so we will say goodbye to you. Have a good tea. What was it? It's mashed potatoes and turkey.
Roasted fingerling potatoes and turkey burgers. It's going to be delicious.
Oh, fantastic. That sounds about, yeah. Yeah, somebody's regretting not having their dinner before starting. Right, yeah. Anyway. So we will see you later. I will let you log off the call, and we will bring in Holly Plays. Welcome in, Holly. Can you hear us?
Hello, I can. Can you hear me?
Technology works. This is where you always have to end up on this side of things. So, how was that for you? Because obviously, our drafts are a little bit different nowadays with this double pool, 5 picks of this, 5 picks of that type of thing. How did you find that?
Yeah, I can't lie. I was very nervous coming into it. Obviously, it was the first time I've had that kind of system before. And so it was really tricky to kind of figure out what positions I prioritize for certain nations or nationalities. And it's so stressful. I feel like I probably could have prepped more, but ultimately somehow I actually really enjoyed the draft, and I genuinely feel like I have a really, really strong team. And do you know what? It's fine that people don't think I'll win because that happened in the first showdown. So who knows?
Lovely. And talk us through those first few picks, because I think they were unexpected on our side of things. I think Jerome Boateng was definitely someone we didn't expect to see, and Hadji was somebody we expected to be picked up 19-20 pick or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's a really good question, and the honest answer is pure panic. I had a slight... the way I knew I wanted to draft was probably spend less in the first pool and spend more in England and Spain. That's where I know more players and know how to utilize them in the formation that I want to use. So spend less. So that hence the Hagi pick. Boateng was second on my list. Moise Kean was first, and he went. So I panicked and went Boateng, and I just played it safe. I have twice now been the last draft picker, and I hate back-to-back picks. It stresses me out endlessly. So as soon as Moise Keane went, I panicked and just went Boateng, Hagi, and just was like, move on, get to the next 2 names that you want to go for. So yeah, completely opposite picks, but I feel like it's worked out well.
Cool. I'll throw it out to my wonderful pundits that are left. Ali, let's start with you.
Hi, Holly. Post
Hello.
Steeler. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm not bad. You said to me, we had a little discussion before, and you said to me that you're going to be going with who and what you know. Did that go according to plan? How according to plan did it go?
Mostly. I mean, for those who aren't aware, David De Gea is basically a regular name in my team at this point. So is Reguilon. Timber's been in 1 or maybe 2 of my teams. Calvert-Lewin is new, which was that was a bit off the cuff. But like names like Lavia and Bardi, the cheaper picks, they featured in my whole save on Twitch. And I was going to pick Bowen. He was obviously another key name for me in previous draft competitions, but I kind of ended up with so much money left towards the end that I knew I could kind of put in more money towards Aspas in the end. I was originally going to go for Fatty, so that kind of worked out really well. And then obviously Asensio, when he gets added into my team, as long as no one forgets, please, I beg. It ended up being, a decent number of similar names, ones that I know work well in my system, but also new ones that I'm really excited to try.
Okay, great. And we also talked about who you'd sort of be wanting to maybe come up against. And you went for, I guess, what is the pundit's favourite? FM Girl.
I regret that now. I regret it.
Well, I mean, you're obviously backing yourself. You've come out very confidently or arrogantly, we'll see what happens on Sunday, saying you are going to win it. We're all obviously thinking Alice is going to do quite well. That's potentially a really good narrative for the final. Why are you looking forward to playing Alice in particular?
Well, obviously, I've never played against a fellow female, and I think that that's amazing to see in the FM community. 2 females in the same competition going against each other. I think that's really special. She's also someone that I just thoroughly love lurking in her streams. I think she's an amazing streamer and knows so much about the game and football as well. So I just think she's amazing. I guess there's a few other people. I mean, Breezy said that he supports the better claret and blue team, so there's a mark over his head now massively. I'd love to beat Stinger again with David De Gea. I think there's nothing that would annoy him more, so let's go for 3 on that. I'm excited to play. I've never played. There's most of the people here I've never played before, so that's what's also really exciting to me, to play against new people, new tactics, new ideas, and new people, and just meet more of the community. Really.
Okay,
awesome.
Great. Well, good luck. I'll pass you on to Matt.
You literally asked all the things I was going to ask.
You snooze, you lose, Matt. You snooze, you lose.
So I'll say this: I assume David De Gea, the success he's had with you in the past, it was pretty much a no-brainer that you'd bring him back. I literally used him in the last draft I was in because of how well he did for you, so it wasn't really a big surprise to see him back there. When it comes to where is he? Do you feel like having defenders like Ake, who maybe aren't the best in the air, could maybe hinder you a little bit, given how heavy the meta relies on set pieces?
Potentially. I'm just kind of hoping the Boateng Ake link up is just going to somehow all click together. You've got to remember in my last competition, in the last showdown that I took part in, I had freaking Eric Dyer in my defensive line and Rob Holding. And somehow we made it to a final. So anything's possible defensively in my mind. I know everyone knows the meta of set pieces and big meaty men, but I'm up for trying new things and breaking the system. So Ake, the choice on Ake was how quick he is. Obviously, there's also the meta of quick strikers, and that terrifies me. And I hate conceding to quick strikers. So I'm hoping Ake's going to counter that, and Boateng's going to be good in the air. And then, Callum Chambers, he's good in the air as well, so that could help. Who knows?
Sounds
Fantastic.
It's all planned out, I promise. It's all planned out. There is method to the madness somewhere.
Yeah. And was the plan to leave that bit of money till the last 5 picks? Was that the general plan on there?
100%.
Yeah. Well, I think
it's my strongest area.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, the look of horror when Jordan Williams came up. We weren't sure what had happened there. We were really confused ourselves. Luckily, our backroom team covered it.
You should. I don't know if you saw my face. I was stressed beyond belief when I couldn't find Asensio. I thought I'd broke the game. I thought I'd done something wrong. I thought I can't have like a round 2 version of like El Crashco with Sealing in the final. I just can't have things go wrong again. So I was really panicked. I don't know if you know, Lavia, I have to admit, wasn't actually my pick. I did run out of time on that.
We could tell by the hand-in-hands moments, yeah.
But somehow it gave me Romeo. It's because I was so in-depth trying to plan out my back-to-back picks that, and obviously it doesn't give... I always forget the timer isn't on the player screens, and then I clicked back and it said 4 seconds, so I was in the mud, really, was I? And then the game, like, took ages to reset. I can't even remember. I've blurred it out now, to be honest.
Repressive memories.
Yeah, genuinely. You'd have to watch it back. So, but I genuinely can't remember.
I think we were watching at that time. The backroom team did ask us, like, "Oh, is Holly's game broke again?" I was like, "Nope, she just missed the pick. Like it was the full." Oh no, it's happened.
Lavia, Lavia is great.
He might score. I was going to say he might score the winner in the final. Who knows? Anyway, Holly, thank you for joining us, and best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you
for the playoffs. Obviously, the groups will be revealed, and we're straight over to another interview with Fox in the Box. Foxy, can you hear us?
Hi, I can hear you. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Lovely stuff.
I did right things then, good.
Yep. So, welcome back to drafting. You've done a couple of other draft teams, or Road to Legends and Top Manager and stuff like that. Your draft today, your start was astounding, to be fair. I mean, the fact that Van Dijk was still there at 4th pick.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I've just been beaten up by you lot. That was outstanding.
No, hey, I'm talking about your first 2 picks. So they're going to talk about the rest.
I'm joking.
They'll talk about the rest. I'm just the nice person who butters you up before these guys come in. Right. Anyway, so yeah, how was it for you? Obviously, adapting to this way of picking as well.
It was alright, to be fair, because it gave me. I think 4th place was a really good position to be in. I thought I stood a small chance of getting Lukaku, and if I didn't get him, I'd get Barella, and they were the first 2 to go. So I was like, oh, for God's sake. But no, I think it worked out quite well for us, to be fair. I think the alternatives are the main players that I missed out on, which was only like 2 or 3 are good alternatives. You mentioned that I've tried in other drafts. I don't know how much attention you've played to it. I feel like Stick hadn't played too much attention because he said he hadn't done very well. If you look between the lines, like there's a lot of 3-2 losses, 3-3 draws. We played against in the Road to Legends when we drew 1-1 with somebody, I forget who it was, and then we lost 7-5. So the problem was always conceding. There was never a problem with what I've got working, attacking, and I think I've drafted the midfield and the attack of perfect fits what we're doing. And to get Van Dijk, I was like, you never plot for Van Dijk, right? It just happened. I was like, we're onto a winner here. Like this is going to go well, and I think it's gone well. And I think what I've learned over the last probably month and a half is probably more than I've learned in any other year of playing PvP.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we'll start with the pundit questions because obviously they've thrown you in the bin. So I think it's time for them to see why they've done that. So we'll start with Matt.
I'd never put him in the bin. But I do have some questions. I was noticing you were, generally speaking, throughout the entire squad, seem to be generally drafting quite tall players. I think at one point I actually saw you with a height filter on in general. Was that
I thought it was on in general,
plan? Yeah. Was that like an overall plan so that you could just have the tallest squad in general so you can win a lot of the battles across? We have a very tall team.
I mean, I've played a lot of the game. I think it's not an advantage at all, but I think a lot of people at the game point now start to kind of burn out a little bit and not play as regularly. I've come back after not playing really for 4 months and I'm just chewing it up, eating it, and this match engine is just so easy to understand in my opinion. Obviously there's a caveat to that. Playing against the AI that does sensible things is different to playing against other people that do crazy things. But I feel like I've got a really good grip on the match engine. We took this tactic through those 2 other tournaments and height was a factor then. And it's why we weren't just scoring from set pieces. We're manufacturing 2 types of goal that the match engine seems to thrive on right now. And I think we've drafted players that are going to fit that. Height comes into it, height and a bit of pace, like Rafael Leao. I'll call now probably my top goal scorer. He has pace and height. He's going to be dangerous off a front three of a pressing forward. Sorry. But yeah, height's a big factor in it. But I've also looked at 3 or 4 other attributes that come into the filters. For instance, agility, technique is quite high in my pick list right now for this current match engine. the ability to play difficult passes, cross-field passes, the ability to turn on the spot. And I think genuinely, I've drafted probably the best I could have done. But yeah, height, lots of it. Basketball team. In fact, I've got my team up now here. I mean, just while you chat, I'll get my height of my starting 11.
So what I was going to ask you is that you've got Harry Kane. Are you going to play him up front, or have you got some master plan where he's deep? Because I feel like if anyone's going to do that, it's going to be you.
No, Harry Kane's going to go right of the front three.
Okay.
He's a creator. Skamaka will go centrally. Deal with 6'5". So it's going to be it pretty much is this. So the front three are 6'2", 6'5", 6'2". Midfield 2 are 5'9", 5'10". Holding midfield is 5'11". Back line is 5'10", 6'4", 6'5", 6'3", 6'3".
Wow.
We're not going to lose anything in the air.
Indeed. Yeah. You'd hope not,
Yeah.
anyway. Ali?
Hi, Lee. How are you?
Hello, my darling. Long time no see.
I know, it's been a while. Martin de Roon was a pick which I think ruffled a few feathers in terms of everybody was so in demand to get him. But I know I've learned that when you draft, you're not conventional. A lot of the players that you're identifying there, like Stefano Sensi, like Adarabio, are players that others aren't necessarily going for. Was Martin de Roon instrumental, or
Yes.
will he be instrumental to the team?
He won't be a starter, but he's that kind of like so him and Sensei are going to work as a partnership. Sensei's your creative hook. He's he's diminutive, he's quick, he can turn, he can play a pass, he's got great vision. de Roon's your like box to box like smash up. If something's not quite working, or Sensei's getting bullied because he's only 5'6", he's going to feel tiny, bless him. He's got de Roon next to him, who has a bit more height, a bit more strength, a bit more ability to win the ball. So if my starting midfield 2 of Chamberlain's class, by the way, I don't know who called it out, but Chamberlain is genuinely really good. Chamberlain is the perfect late arrival. If Chamberlain and outside, I don't think he was going to do this, but Rafael, I think it's Gutierrez, he's a left back who's going to play centre midfield. He can play centre midfield as well. If those two aren't working, we've got a perfect rotation of the two that do opposite jobs. Pretty much is what we're trying to go for. Two kind of like, to use the Athletics quotes yesterday, or their positional things, 2 box crashes, 2 late box crashes in the middle, but then an alternative to a player and a ball winner.
Yeah, Andrew and our stats truck will be delighted you've referenced those athletic things from yesterday. I think he's already started a sheet on who are the perfect players in those positions at the moment.
They're very cool. They're very cool. But yeah, de Roon, very important rotation. I've always drafted really well and had a wrong tactic, or I've had a really good tactic and drafted really poorly. I think I'm not going to sit here and say I was outstanding on both sides, because it never is outstanding, but I think I've got good and good. It's the first time I've ever had good and good, ever. So it'd be interesting which way it goes.
Brilliant.
Well, great.
Go on, Ali.
I have one more sort of quick question. You've picked Skamaka, you picked him quite early. What we see a lot in draft competitions is people picking players who are good in 3 years' time and in a career save. Maybe not necessarily at first team level when the game begins.
Yeah.
Do you at all think you might have fallen victim to that with the Skamaka pick, or is he exactly where you wanted? Because there are a lot of tall boys in this pool, and a lot who are, in my opinion, offering more than Skamaka is.
Okay, so trait, shoot from distance, 15 long shots. Ask to shoot more constantly, does it all the time. Inside the box, obviously that's from early setups. From inside the box, you're looking at 16 finishing, 15 heading. You're looking at 15 strength. Strength is super underrated in that back post cross. That's why Lukaku's so good right now, because he's quick, and that's the only problem Skamaka doesn't have. He isn't quick. That's why Lukaku is like the prime striker in the game at this current match engine, along with Haaland, obviously. He has the attributes that are required for what we want him for right now. Finishing, heading, long shots, determination, and then obviously strength. But he also has quite good hidden attributes too, which I think is underrated. I don't know how many people look at that. That consistency, important matches, pressure, those 3 particularly. But I think his are all like 12 and 13, which is quite good. Not the best, obviously, but it's not bad. That's what I'm saying, good. And I think you can't ever get a great draft, in my opinion, because the pool's so diluted. But I think I say good is what we're looking for, and I think we've come out good on top of everything, and he really fits that. And just being 6'5", you know, it's going to be a problem.
Amazing. Well, good luck for Sunday.
I just hope it goes. I just hope it goes to plan. But there's
So I
not
think-
a plan. Well, there is a plan, and there's not a plan at the same time. Like, you know, maybe before I cared a bit too much. This time it's a bit more blasé with an angle of, you know, if it goes well, we'll enjoy it. If it not, we'll still enjoy it.
Amazing. Amazing.
And is there anybody you're in particular looking forward to facing if you get there?
That Liverpool fan Limo.
Limo.
I mean, he's fuming, by the way. He's already tweeted me.
he's gifted you a sub to the FM playoffs. So there you go. So,
Oh, I've just nutted him. I do apologise.
He probably tweeted you then felt really bad about it.
No, there's a lot
Softly.
of people that actually not crossed before. Obviously, you know, I was really early in the door with this PvP stuff.
Yeah.
And seeing where it's gone over the year or so that I've kind of taken out is really cool. And seeing all these new faces, new people. I like the fact that I've come back in and Stick said it, you know, it's not really down to what Fox drafts or what Fox does. Fox just got to prove that he can do something. But like I say, I think this is why this time around it's good and good. But before, I've always had bad and average either way. And I always either got a great tactic, bad team, or bad team, great tactic. I think this time is a good balance. So hopefully we get the first home game. We keep getting away games first, but it's on neutrals, isn't it, I think?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. But no, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And by the way, while I'm here, I'll shout it out now. I spent a lot of time watching you guys tonight because I wanted to see kind of where you've come from where I was in the first one, because the first one was however long ago now that I did. The difference in quality, oh my God, well done.
Thank you.
Ridiculous.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So different. I was
and I think-
shocked.
And I think that's happening across the board. I mean, obviously, Showdowns are
Yeah,
cut above the
it's
rest,
amazing.
but
Honestly, whoever's in the
everyone
background
else
doing
is
what they
stepping
do.
up. Everyone is stepping up where they go to, and it's fantastic. And I'll
So
give
keep
those
yourself on
shout
the
outs
back.
shortly. But I am going to say goodbye to you, Foxy, and we will see
Thank you for having
you
me, guys.
Sunday.
Appreciate it. And thank you for your time.
And best of luck. See you later now.
It's been a bit, boss man.
Cool. And then there was free. So we'll quickly finish off. We'll say goodbye to everyone. We'll start with yourself. Second yellow card. Give yourself a shout out and where we can find you. It is a trap. Don't forget.
In that case, you can't find me anywhere. I've decided. I'm deleting my channel as of tonight. You can find me on twitch.com. No, you can't. That's not a website. Twitch.tv. It's gone wrong. Twitch.tv/second yellow card. YouTube.com/second yellow card. Twitter.com/second yellow card. TikTok.com/second yellow card. If you really want to.
Fantastic. You completely forgot to say that you're going to be on Drafts and Crafts tomorrow and also on the playoffs on Sunday, but there we are. I'll do that for you. Ali, where can
Hello,
we
Jeb.
find you?
Just gonna say, if Second Yellow Card deletes his channel, then my friend's gonna be gutted. He can't see the green team anymore, which no one else is gonna get other than the three people here. So allow it. Alistair on Twitter, on Twitch, YouTube, maybe soon. Who knows? I'm cooking up a storm, according to. I've told some of the guys here about it, so we'll see. And I think that's it. Instagram as well. Give me follow, make me look popular. Is essentially. I think it's Ale_Stair there though. But yeah, I'm here. I'm here on Sunday. I've been demoted from host for the games, which I'm really miffed about, but I can't say anything. So yeah, we'll see what happens on Sunday.
Well, there's a funny guy taking over. So, obviously I wasn't supposed to be here tonight, so shout out to Tony Jameson, who'll be here tomorrow with Drafts and Crafts with Second Yellow Card, Llama, and Rich Owens. So they'll be reviewing the squads over a few beers, so I think they might let loose a little bit further. Just quick shout out thank yous to our back office team, Malteser Falcon, Andrew, Statline WX, and Galder. They've been typing away all those teams. They've been providing all stats. They've provided everything in the background for us. Mozza for doing all the excellent graphics, along with FM Girl and Katie. Ali for doing all the organising of all the players, obviously. I'll give him that shout out there. And then Owen, Big Man on Campus, and Jeter for all of the socials tonight and the clips. You can find me at Jebaroo, so twitch.tv/Jebaroo, and the Jebaroo on Twitter and Instagram. I don't really post too much on Instagram, but there you go. You can have it anyway. You can follow the FM playoffs here. We're back tomorrow, 8 o'clock, and then we are also back on Sunday at 6:30, ready for the playoffs. So 12 teams ready to go. I think we were about to do a raid, but then they've got spelt it wrong. It's with a 0, guys, just so you know.
Every time we raid the cult of, they spell it wrong.
We're about to raid over to the cult of, but yeah. Thank you for everybody in the chat. Thank you for all the gifted subs, and thank you for all the help through. It's been actually a really big night for us by the looks of things, with the amount of people in the chat and all the players playing. It's a new era for the playoffs, and I think it's gone successful really, really well. And we're about to send you over to the cult of, so please share your love with him. Say hello, be pleasant, all the nice things. Have a great night. It's really warm, and I want some water or maybe some beer. So good night, everyone. Bye-bye.